This is the Extra Sheep. Welcome in, everybody. Super glad to hear you have you guys. Hopefully it's not going crazy. Let me make sure I can hear all my friends now. I don't think I can hear you guys just yet. Let me fix my sound. I'm like balancing a bunch of sound stuff right now, so let me make sure we can hear the guys. They can't be heard yet. But how are we guys doing? Hey, we got Ascalad up top. Say hello.
What's good, everybody? Okay, that wasn't American at all. I'm sorry. Hey,
No, that wasn't.
All is well.
You're trying to be American?
We got Ascalad and we got Caleb Calamari. I'm your host, Socerton, along with Sir Neville's and Beale. Welcome everyone in. I think that was the first hype train I think I've ever had on my stream. So thanks to you guys. That was kind of cool. And I wasn't even doing anything. I was just sitting here watching the timer tick down. I know, absolute poggers. Sir Neville's, you might need to bump your mic up actually, I can do it myself. Hang on, let me just bump you up just a bit here.
Okay.
I know. I'm like, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. I just bumped you up a bit. We should be good. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't stressed about going live for the first time. It's funny because when you stream all the time, you're just like used to streaming, and that's a different dynamic. And I feel like we've gotten really comfortable on our podcast recording, right? We've gotten pretty cozy doing our thing, but being live that's a whole nother animal. So.
Yeah, man.
The gloves are off. The gloves are off.
You weren't there for the last live episode where it was me and Neville's.
Oh yeah, Sock, you weren't there. I forgot. I'm like, we've done this before. I'm like, UGC
came in with like 1,600 viewers. They were like,
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah,
I don't know if we get that
today.
today.
People are gonna watch.
I panicked out on that one. I was okay, now I was stuttering. I was like, okay.
I was in my car in California driving to Disneyland and I saw that hit, and my wife was like, they've got 1,500 viewers. And I was like, what? Like, what on earth is going on? Like, man, I guess I just need to excuse myself or recuse myself from the podcast. You guys are more famous without me, I guess.
We hijacked it.
Yeah. But happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Someone actually wished us happy Hanukkah too, which I thought was really cool. I don't think I've ever had anyone wish me a happy Hanukkah before. So that was kind of cool. I enjoyed that.
A dreidel.
I know. Hey, latkes sound really good. Just saying. I always like those plastic gold coins, the little chocolate coins that are terrible chocolate, but really kind of fun as kids. Anyways, we are way off topic, but we've got a good episode here for you today. Going live, we will be taking questions. Feel free to spam questions in the chat if you want with us. We will try to get to them when we get to them. I've reserved a little spot towards the end to get back to more toward later in the episode as well. Besides that, man, how we doing? Anyone got any fun plans for Christmas? I mean, I'm just chilling at home. All my family's coming over to the coast around New Year's time, but I don't know if anyone else is doing anything cool.
It's a good question.
My mom and dad are going to fly out Saturday to go pick up grandma to fly in Christmas Eve. So on Christmas Eve, I have to drive to Denver, which is 3 hours from my house, and pick up my parents, and then we'll have grandma and grandpa and my parents and us all here at the same house. So that'll be a busy time. Besides that, we're just doing dinner. So.
Hey, dinner's good. Doing like the full spread, like turkey, ham, like stuffing, potatoes.
Prime rib.
Ooh.
Oh.
All right. Well, shoot, that's awesome.
Little odd shoe. Get the odd shoe sauce.
Yeah. Get the Brussels sprouts and that, and baked potatoes. Something else is on the list.
You got room for one more? Let's fly out. Let's book a trip, man. Let's go. Fly down.
Oh man. Wow, hype train level 2, dude. I've never had this happen. This is sweet. You guys are way too nice. Welcome to everyone.
You gotta like start crying.
I know. I just like to thank my mom and the academy. And no, we really appreciate that.
Countdown timer. You love the actual episode.
Yeah, I know. Right, for real. Like that was nuts. Well, do we want to go ahead and just dive right in? We got some cool stuff on the docket today. First up, let me open up my Google Doc here at the outline that we got. So, Sultan's Ascent. First off, I want to just say, Sultan's Ascent, I saw a Reddit post. It is the best-selling expansion in Age of Empires history.
Wow.
So
that's pretty nuts. Like, more than the Conquerors? For AoE 2?
Yeah.
Insane.
Impressive.
Insane,
That's
right?
pretty interesting.
Insane.
Do you think?
It doesn't sound right to me. I feel like the Conquerors is like the first expansion for AoE 2 has sold more, but I guess not. I mean, I
guess video games were just popular then
at this point. Well, you could still in America, like even into like the mid 2000s, go to any Walmart and you could find like on the shelf Age of Empires like complete collection.
Like right next to the Roller Coaster Tycoon or Sims or something like that. Yeah. No, yeah. It says here, the actual post says here, the Sultan's Ascend brings the largest content update to Age of Empires 4 Anniversary Edition with the 2 new civs, 4 innovation variant civs, an 8 mission campaign, and 10 new maps. And thanks to you, it is the best-selling expansion in Age franchise history. And that's from the official Age of Empires on Twitter. Or sorry, X, formerly known as Twitter. Oh man, I just threw up a little in my mouth saying that. Yeah, so I mean that's huge. I mean, I think part of it, first of all, has got to be because the price point was really good.
Yeah,
for what it was.
For $15, I mean, I can't think of a single expansion that's been that big and hefty for that price in ages. I feel like I'm back in 2002, right? I mean, before that's almost before the age of like DLCs, really. But I feel like as far as an expansion goes, like I would have paid. I think we all said we paid like $20 easily. Would have been like.
I was expecting 20 for
20,
sure.
25. I'd have paid up to 30 easily. I mean, I probably would have paid $60 because I'm super invested in the game. 60. But I would have complained about $60.
It's not. It would have been a good thing. Yeah, it would have been a good thing, but I would have paid too much.
I would have paid an exorbitant amount, but I also would then very much and vehemently complain about that. But
well, if they released it at 60, I would have been really turned off at that point. Like I was expecting 20. 15 was a really nice surprise. Especially because they did add single player content.
In today's economy, man. In today's economy. No, I like what Jeremy says. Gambling alone was worth $30 for that 10-game win streak I had with it. Yeah, it really was. It would have been worth $30.
Oh yeah, cheating stuff, I guess.
No, it's not cheating. Pay to win. Ask Glad. Pay to win. It's the American way. Capitalism.
I paid to become diamond. Yeah.
Paid to become diamond. Oh, that hurts my soul a little just to say it that way.
Where can I pay to become Kong free?
Pay to win.
But you know, there's been a lot of I'll let you go in just a sec. I would say there's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of talk about how some people have been really bitter about it. Like it's just pay to win. These civs are broken and blah blah blah. And I'm kind of like, dude, it was $15, and I would not say they were broken. Like Order of the Dragon needed that 50 wood increased buff was pretty important for them to get back to some semblance of decency here. Like I wouldn't say every civ was broken. I mean, obviously Jeanne d'Arc is she's still way too powerful, but even then she's not like, I wouldn't say she's like just abjectly gonna win the game. You know, like Joan of Arc's gonna win some and lose some, but
especially on the pro scene. I mean, like they've been like the U-Bit's been losing, Jeanne d'Arc's lost. Like, you know, I mean, I think, I guess I judge overpowered by like top to bottom. Like if the guys up top are finding ways to beat these civs, then like, it's kind of along some like, you just gotta, I want to say get good, but it's just like, you gotta just figure out a way to maneuver around it. Because my mindset on things, I don't blame the game. I look within first. I look within before I go to the game. I like, because most likely it's not like you go from Jeanne d'Arc to like I go from like gold 3 to like diamond 3. Like it doesn't make it like I'm still gonna be trash with or without Jeanne d'Arc. So like that's how I look at it. Like, so at the end of the day, you know, I mean, of course he's probably gonna be balanced out a bit more. I mean, John is. It's so funny. I've got to calling her John, but it really is Joan. I'm calling her John, but Joan.
Joan, yeah, the Anglicization of that.
Exactly. So, but like, yeah, but like, I mean, obviously, it was a big adjustment period. People think that hero units don't belong in AOE, but you know, same time, I mean, she is beatable. I beat her on the ladder.
Wait,
you know, I just
beat women.
Beat
what? It's for Neville's. Come on.
Oh yeah, you know that can take me out of context.
Well, I mean, you can point to the fact that in the finals for EGC, she was never banned. She was never one of the banned civs, and I don't think Ayubids were either. I think it was mostly Mongols and Rus, and
I think that makes sense because the eco for Joan of Arc isn't great. It really isn't, and for a high level players, I think the thing with Joan of Arc is that it's a very micro intensive to deal with her. But for that top level of play, they can deal with that. That's not a really big deal for them at all, right? For most of us in Plat 3, almost Diamond, it can be more difficult. And anyone who's sitting in Gold or Plat, like that could be a lot more difficult because I think someone had a really good post about it. How you can choose how difficult of a civ you want to play. But Joan of Arc is interesting in that she is difficult to play against, and it forces you to get good at that, whether you're ready or not. Yeah. And there's no incentive to play against it. The pros kind of figured out just don't engage her until you can just immediately take her out, because otherwise there's no incentive to play against her. You're just going to feed the beast.
Such fun.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it also comes down to, like, in the past, civs that have been harder to play are harder to get, like, macro bonuses online. And, like, how do you set up your big economy as China? How do you get the most out of Delhi? Where, like, Joan she's more, all of the, like, little management things are micro intensive, and it's how do you get the most out of this one unit versus setting up for the entire economy.
No, I think that's exactly it. It's tough. I think Beale, I think your idea last episode about making it like so that you get a gold bounty when you kill her, or they have to pay gold when you get her back, just doing something like that to reward that play. Because I think Askeladd kind of alluding to it up there above me, saying like, yeah, so fun to play against, right? Because I think inherently she's not fun to play against, and that's a problem, right? Like, it's one thing that she's really fun to play with, but if she's just really not fun to play against, that's going to be a bit of a turn off to players, right? And you want to make sure it's fun. If I have like I don't mind a high risk, high reward kind of deal, or even just I might just feed her experience, or I might get gold. Like, make it interesting for the other player to engage with her. Then she'll just be really fascinating. Anyways,
I think it
feels bad to lose units to her, and there's no benefit to, like, you kill her and what in feudal age you allowed your opponent to spend 250 gold and just lose that. That's really not that much
for a unit that started out as free, essentially. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting. But I might even call it not an oversight, but almost an oversight where they just didn't think about how it feels to play against that. Because everything up to this point, there hasn't been that issue, because there has always been the reward of killing other units and stuff. But running it down into her by taking a losing fight to distract from something else or whatever could be a good tactic if you weren't giving her experience. And it kind of it's, obviously here unit changes a lot, but this is one of those things that I think is not initially thought of. And obviously it wasn't, because it shipped and there's this issue with it. So it's kind of an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah. Moreover, I think I want to go into the patch notes here. Let me put the link into that here, and the link in the, there it is. There's a link for that. Oh, that's the Video Ninja. Never mind. Don't click that link. Our outline.
Already here.
Oh geez. Oh no. What have I done? Let me copy the patch notes over. I do want, because my biggest thing is, I think everyone knew that, like, the gamble wing, the bazaar wing, which is what it's actually called, was gonna need to be a nerf. Everyone knew that there were a couple things that need to be tweaked, and that they were gonna do a hot patch, and they did. They patched things. I think most people are surprised at the kitty gloves that were used for Joan of Arc, because there was a nerf. That nerf constituted the boar, instead of being 50 XP, is now only 25 experience points. It feels underwhelming to me.
Was that the nerf we needed? Yeah.
I don't disagree with that nerf.
Change, the direction is okay. It doesn't solve the underlying problem of, I don't have fun playing against it because it's unrewarding to play against.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, it does help solve some of the balancing issues with it, but it doesn't solve the overall problem that she presents. Yeah.
I don't mind playing against something strong as long as I'm having fun doing it.
Yeah, I think I said that in a stream I was doing. I went for one. I was going against an Abbasid player as a Ubids, which is always kind of fascinating. It's like, I get to go against the big daddy civ. Let's see what I can do, huh? It's like when you beat your dad at chess for the first time or something, But I was like, oh, here we go. And I was gonna go for the Bazaar wing, but I was like, I think Desert Raiders would be better. So I went for the military wing, where you get like a free Desert Raider every 2 minutes. And I just used that to go, poke a little bit as I fast castled into Gulams, then won, because he took the water. It was on not Gorge. It was on River, the Rocky River one. So I actually mixed it up, and I think I said in the chat, like, I don't think this is going to work, but I'm having fun. Like, that's the thing that matters most, right? Is, are you having fun in the game? And obviously winning is a big proponent of that in a game like this that's super hyper competitive. But I agree with you, Askeladd. If she's just not fun to play against, like, I'd rather go against Zushi's Legacy, frankly, like, which is really strong in my opinion against me, than go against Joan of Arc, just because she's not fun.
I disagree. I hate Jushi's Legacy.
Okay, I hate Jushi's Legacy too. But I would rather play a Jushi's Legacy than go against Joan of Arc.
That's crazy. See, it's so crazy how different opinions waver. Because, like, I hate playing Juke push, Jushi's Legacy.
It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough.
Legacy.
Thankfully, I think my fast castle build is good enough, and I've been preemptively building horses, and that's been helping me out my build a lot.
Dirty fast castle play. I hate dirty.
You know what? Not everyone wants to sit on their butt for 2 minutes building a TC. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
You're talking about Ayub. It's like, okay, you don't build the gamble wing, but you still build something else to go fast castle Gulam.
Fast castle is always what I want to do. But I was
going to say
I just went for the Desert Raiders so I can just poke my opponent while I'm fast castling behind it. You know, that's like the celestial way to do it in my mind. Like if all the celestial climbs of this world at the holy moment of this game is when you are poking your opponent and annoying them while you castle behind it. I love that. I love that.
There's nothing more infuriating when I'm fighting somebody and I see castle. I'm like, what? I thought we had a deal here. What's going on?
In that game I was playing, my opponent went for the water and was in Dark Age for a long enough time. Aged up at like 6.5 minutes, and I was like, oh no! And I was like, oh wait, it's Feudal Age, not Castle Age. I almost had a heart attack that he just castled up super fast because the notification was just way later than I was expecting it to be.
Last night we had a team game with I think Tabit was in there, and I think that might have been one of the first times he's seen Zushi's Legacy, and for once seeing like the 6-minute castle timing, like his initial reaction of like what, and then the 20 news, like in his base at 10 minutes, he was just like, you shouldn't be able to make 25 units at this point in the game. You shouldn't be able to.
Dude, he had like 60 at his base in like 12 minutes. Yeah,
it's nuts.
Stockton, we went through. You haven't seen. I got all in. And I had Juke just like I had literally like 40 Juke.
I had it open. I was working on stuff. I had it open and I was kind of watching you guys. I saw Beale kind of hold the middle of that pit with his keeps. I was watching that. I was watching that passively. I wasn't really active in the chat.
That game was rough.
That game was rough. I almost wanted to hop in on one, but I was getting this wonderful overlay and everything ready. My wife was getting it ready, and we were working on Christmas cards. She's waving to me right now.
Looks good.
Yeah, it look good. Look at this. It's super good. She even made spoilers. My wife made a commercial. She did her own tier list. We'll be doing a tier list today, and she made her own.
Damn. Nice.
It's pretty dang funny. She went through the animales, los animales.
Look
it's
at
great.
that.
You'll have that.
She's the real leader of the pod. She's the real leader of the pod.
She does a lot. She does a lot.
She's the one behind the scenes. She's the puppet master behind the scenes. You're a figurehead, dude.
I'm a figurehead
on camera.
Yep. No, it's true.
It's true. On camera, dude. She's the real leader. She's the real leader. CEO.
She's the real producer of the show.
One.
I want to get into the actual patch notes. I've been alluding to that here for the first couple minutes here. I want to get into the official. Come say hi, love. Come say hello real quick. Say hello, everyone.
Hi.
It's the real boss. Hey,
the real boss. You know what?
Hey, boss. That's who signs the checks.
Howdy, guys.
Where all the Patreon money goes.
Patreon money goes. That's who's signing the checks.
I still have. It's just building. It's got a couple $100s in there. Most of that's going to go back to just funding. I'm going to get a bill here in a couple months when we hit our full year. I'm going to get a bill for hosting the pod for so long. And I'll have to pull the monty for that and actually pay it then. But
you're going to go full Suge Knight, dude. Hold on to the funds. Just start
investing it into stuff.
Around.
We're going to make this a real business one day.
You'd be like, you see Sock got a new Lambo? What's going on, dude? I don't see none of it.
Soccer just bought himself a house in Malibu?
Sock's living.
He needs it for hosting.
Exactly. Yeah, guys, don't worry. All the money's going back into the pot. Don't worry, guys.
All they got was a measly coaster. Actually, so Neville's, you sent me the address. I need to send it. Now it's on me. I need to send it. I've got it right here.
That was my fault. That was my fault at first. I didn't
realize
realize that.
We got coasters, guys. Coasters. We've got stickers. I even wrote a cute little letter. I don't even know what I wrote in it. It was probably something like nice and like you're such a great friend or something.
Thanks, man.
Some you know.
We should open up a live breakdown on the podcast.
I want to get to the actual patch notes of the patch. Patch notes of the patch. That sounds really redundant. I want to
and deliver it.
Actually, my sister-in-law became a Patreon subscriber as well. And my brother Jeremy is in the chat. American Jeremy did as well. And I actually hand gave him his letter with his stuff. It's like, here you go. I'm not going to mail it. It's going to save some postage.
That'd be weird. Mail it around the block. Like,
I know. It's like why? It's like it's going to go all the way to some distribution center and then come right back.
Exactly.
Yeah, not worth it.
You guys, your money is being handled responsibly.
Of course.
So the patch
ignoring
notes.
the Lambo.
The patch notes, everybody. Let's get to this, huh? So like I said, there were some kitty gloves used for Joan of Arc. There were some good things. Let's dive in. So the festive season is in the air of Age of Empires 4 with today's minor patch, which was on December 6th. That's about 9 days ago now. It's about a week or so ago. We've got the Tons of Toys seasonal event. You can chill out in the seasonal winter biome. I haven't tried that one out yet. Looks kind of nice. Looks nice. Or bring the heat to your opponent with updates to the new civilizations introduced in our recent expansion. Changes introduced today include stability fixes, additional fixes to improve server latency. We had some issues with that earlier. Adjustments to several maps. I've noticed actually a couple of those in stream. Several corrections to localization, a new mod, free camera, and then balance changes focused around the Japanese and Byzantines as well as the variant civs, and some bug fixes and further balance improvements. Let's read more below. Let's see. So the Tons of Toys, basically you just get a bunch of cool little like, what is it, like
Christmas themed little icons and coat of arms and
Christmas themed,
and
like
then a bear monument.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what that's about.
A bear monument. Should have been a sheep monument, but whatever.
It should have been like at least a wind up bear. I don't know.
Right, yeah, like something. Or nutcracker.
Like a nutcracker.
Yeah, like a nutcracker.
Yeah, that would be good.
There's a login event, gift just for you, starting in mid-December. Log into AoE4 to claim a special present-themed sigil for your coat of arms. I think that runs through the 19th on the 20th or something like that. So yeah, you just keep logging in, you'll get a little thing. It's cute. The winter biome, I like it. I haven't actually played on it yet, but I like the look of it. It looks like it'd be like the perfect like home base map for like a Roost player.
Dude, that biome. Yeah. Dude, that biome made me realize I gotta upgrade my PC. I hate it. It's great. I love it. I wish it stayed in the game, but for my PC, it's so bright and like the way it looks. Like I don't know why. I like in classic view, zoomed in, it looks like my units are like running across like clouds. It's like weird. The biome's great idea, but it made me realize that it's 2024. I'm going for a crazy rig. I'm about to overdo it because this time, dude, this biome, man, I feel like it has so much potential on my PC, but it looks so weird.
Oh, we missed.
Maybe
reminds me.
Hey, Caleb.
Yeah, I forgot to add Caleb on this one because he came in late.
No.
Yeah. Let me get him in here real quick. Let me get you in, Caleb. All right. One second, guys. We're just gonna see the backside of all this here. Let me go to the control room. Oh, no, everyone close their eyes. Don't look at it. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah. Don't look.
It reminds me, the fairgrounds in town here has the gravel for the parking lot is like bright white, and so you walk outside after like being inside of like the fair like rec room, and it just like the sun is reflecting off the ground at you. It's so awful.
Yeah, it's pretty bright. I gotta say, it's pretty dang bright. It does remind me kind of like my complaints with the Saharan biome. I'd be lying if I said I have to at least put some like reservation on this one because I really didn't like the Sahara biome because it's just all that sand burned in my eyes. Hollow's Hearth was so good because it was just so dark. This one,
beautiful. This one is very authentic because of snow blindness.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see it for a short while.
Yep, it really is. Critical Match says it's surprisingly trippy to play on. I haven't played on it yet because it's only in quick match and custom games. I haven't gotten it to load up yet for mine. Yeah, I don't know. Hollow's Hearth was my favorite. I loved that. I thought the dark. I mean, I'm a kind of guy where every screen I have is on dark mode, like by default.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
We've talked about this. Yeah. I like Sahara. I haven't played Winter Biome yet. I'm sure it's good.
I love snow though. I'm the kind of guy. I'm the kind of guy who just loves snow in general. So I'm like, I want to like it.
You live in the wrong part of the world, sir.
I used to live up in Utah in the snow. I'm not too far from the snow. If I just go up like 20 miles down the road up in the mountains, I'd have snow. Like I'm just on the coast. I'm close.
I don't want to hear you Westerners talk about snow. Okay, listen.
Oh, don't give me that, Chernobyl. I've lived in the mountains of Utah. I've lived in Alaska. I know what snow is.
Listen, but were you born in it? Were you molded by it?
No, I got dumped in the desert.
I was born in the snow.
I was molded by it. Listen, I'm telling you right now. It's like, yo, for real.
I deserve.
Listen,
it's what I need.
Me and Bill got to find something to connect on. Listen, East Coast, best coast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Snow Angels.
Well,
I mean, in your case, Kaler, actually having a coast is better than.
I will say the skiing is better on the West Coast, guys. The mountains out there, the Rockies are some good skiing. You know, what mountains do you guys have out there?
Nothing better than
you guys got hills. You guys got more hills.
Resort.
Okay. Anyways, enough bashing.
They're living in Hillendale.
We're out here living in Altai.
French press, baby. Let's go.
Okay. Moving on with our patch notes here. Where'd my tab go? Here it is. So that's the biome. I need to get on and play it. Stability fixes. You guys remember when? Did anyone else get affected by the silly like servers going down because of the huge influx of players?
Nope.
No.
Okay, my friends list. Yeah. My friends list got frozen. That's what got me. I started deleting a bunch of people. Listen, Socerton, I thought you were playing 24/8. I was like, dude, I was like, Socerton is just, he's on a grind for real. I was like, this
froze when it went down.
Diamond for real. You were always on.
It like froze where it went down, and
they
so
took down that server.
Yeah, that was weird. I was like, is my whole game glitch? I was deleting friends trying to add them back. Because every day, dude, it was like you and like 4 other people were playing literally. Like you were in a game. I'm like, this game never ended. Like I was trying to check if you were streaming. Then I figured I was glitch. I was like, dude, Socks, really? You make me feel. You're motivating me. I was like, I gotta get in the grind. What am I doing?
I know. I've been playing a lot more. I have played a lot more recently than I have the last 2 seasons, and I am flirting with Diamond, guys. I have reached within a game of Diamond like 3 or 4 times now. I keep going. The weird thing about the way they set up the ranks is that it's not 100 points of elo every step. Sometimes it's only 50. So like silver, like 1 and 2 or 2 and 3 is like only 50 points each. Then gold, it's like gold 2 and gold 3 are like each like 100 points, I think. But then plat, like plat 1 to plat 2 is 100 points, but then plat 2 to plat 3 is 50, and 3 to diamond is 50. So you kind of fluctuate a lot when you get to that mid plat range. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder how they chose, because I did notice that pretty early on when I was looking at the points. Oops, punched my microphone. That's like really like erratic. It isn't like it just goes to 100. It's like one of them like 3 is 50 points, and then 4 is 100 points, and then the next 2 are 50. And I wonder how they chose how to break that up.
Like, I would love to know. Berlin, where's Berlin at? I need to know this.
I feel like the gold 3, plat 1 are both 100 points each. So a lot of people like starting out will live in gold 3, plat 1 for a long time until they can eventually approve. Yeah.
And now that I've broken through that, I'm like, oh man, like I don't know what it is, but I've broken through that, and now I'm just sitting in plat 2, plat 3 any given day. Sometimes I go back to plat 1, then shoot right back up again. But I'm like, oh man, like I guess I've actually improved a little bit from then, which is good, because I've been stuck in plat 1 for a while. Like I'd be in gold 3 most of the season and just scrape into plat 1, and I just hadn't improved. Part of that I think is because I had a kid. I think that slowed me down a lot in a lot of ways, but now I'm starting to climb again. But yeah, it's like weird because you get stuck in that gold 3, plat 1 range, and then once you break through, it's like, oh, like okay, you get into a whole nother like level. It's weird. It's really weird. That's a really thick. That's a meaty part. I think most players. I think the bell curve. That's like the upper side of the bell curve right there. Is that gold 3, plat 1? Like that's that upper that just like one standard deviation up is like right there is gold 3, plat 1. If you're above that, if you're like above,
I'd say you've gotten better for sure. Because I think you kind of judge, but your skill like increase based on like the level of players you're beating. Like when you start beating like plat 2, plat 3s, you're like, okay, I'm getting a little better. Like okay, I'll announce as announced in the Discord that I beat a plat 2. Like and like that was like I felt like it felt good and warm inside. Like I feel like I was actually getting better because. You see, if I saw plat 2, I pretty much knew it was GG. You need plat 2 or above, I was like, he's gonna do something to take me out. But like, I feel like that right there when you start really recognizing a skill increase, when you start beating, not necessarily maybe your rank, when you're actually capable of beating higher ranked players.
Honestly,
maybe more.
It's been really weird, Sir Neville's, because I feel like now with the way the new season's been shaking it up and with new civs and everyone trying new stuff and just how weird it's been. I see someone who's like gold 1 or I go again. I'll be like plat 2 and here comes a gold 2 and I'm like, shoot, I'm going to die. Like this guy's probably way better than his elo actually. Because the hidden elo is really weird. Like so I just like, I'm like, is this because I'm not low enough in my hidden, like my MMR is like really low, or is it because he's actually higher? It's like, you can't tell anymore.
Start of the
Do
season
we know what
thing.
the numbers are for each rank? What is gold's numbers?
Like 900 or
Wait,
Is that
let me see if I
1,000
can
is
find
plat.
the curve
1,000 is 1,000
again.
to
Yeah.
1,099 is plat 1, and then it's
I think
1,200 is
Gold-
diamond.
gold's from like 850. Gold starts at 800, right? Isn't 800 to 1,000
I think so.
like, or
I think
850
so.
to 1,000?
I mean, we can just pull it up right now if we really wanted
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
800 to makes sense because that'd be 250s and
I think gold's the hardest gap to get out of.
I agree.
I feel like gold's the hardest gap.
I've dropped the link of the distribution. In the,
Oh, beautiful.
yeah, I have the distribution pulled up too. It's actually like literally a perfect bell curve.
You put that in the Discord or in the outline? Oh, you put it in the Discord.
No, it's in
Perfect.
the
in the Discord.
Oh, wow.
Let me pull this up for everyone to see here.
Oh wow! So it's like
Oh, this is
gold
pretty sweet.
1
Yeah,
gold one's
one,
like,
it's like
the basic.
over 3.
Are most
it's like
people-
it peaks at gold
Peaks at-
one like super
My
hard.
mouse is hovering right
But
now on
there's-
plat 1 right there.
There's a
That's flat.
secondary peak, at plat 1.
It's because
where
everyone's
it's
everyone's
also-
sneaking into the plat at the end of the
back up.
season. Yeah.
is the main player base like 70% silver? Is that silver 2, silver 3?
Yeah, if you are in gold, you are on
gold
top
one.
of the gold one right here.
So you should actually be looking at the matchmaking elo, which is actually just a Gaussian curve, because people, as soon as they hit
Okay, matchmaking elo.
a certain rank number, like a certain rank point number, they just stop playing. Like that's the platinum 1, diamond 1, conqueror 1.
Yeah,
problem.
That's why you see like
didn't scroll down.
the
There it
huge
is.
drop
Yeah.
and jump and but the
Hey,
other
so it is
elo is like a
gold
perfect curve.
It
Gold
tells you where you
gold.
belong in the player distribution. It tells you where you belong. I guys, I'm in the top 26% actually. So
Yeah,
never
no,
mind.
I've been
thought it was
saying, like, if
bad.
you're above
That's
like
something.
gold 2, you're a really good player. Like you are in like
guess.
the average. Like if you're like, it's insane looking at this. So like this is, if you're up here in like
Glad.
flat, like you're
That
up
is
there.
the best link you have ever dropped in this. That made me feel way better about my life.
By
can see the
the way,
conch
if
one,
you
guys.
think that makes you feel warm and mushy inside, it's told me I was in the top 2.7% last season. I
Thanks a
got
lot, man.
crushed
I was
on the
feeling
ladder
good.
Yeah.
so much.
So
I was really
I
feeling
am
good about
currently in
that.
plat 3, which puts me right here. I am the top 2%, or top 11% or so of the game.
All right.
Scroll
all right,
down to
guys.
the hidden MMR though.
I'm sitting at like what is my MMR right now? I think it's like
If you're logged in AoE4 World, it actually shows that there's a little curve, there's a little dot
A
where
line.
you are.
Yeah.
it doesn't have. Why am I not logged in? Usually I'm always logged in.
No.
God.
Everybody on the password.
It took me so long to find these bell curves the first time because it, for some reason, is not in the ranked
Sign myself
statistics.
in real
It's
quick.
in the ranked Mon V1 ladder statistics.
Yeah.
Wow,
no, I
this
have
is
found it
sweet.
before
I did not know about this.
and spent a lot of time like looking for it again. Just like I know this is on the
Where
site
is it?
somewhere.
Wait,
It
statistics.
where-
It exists.
yeah.
Why is it not there?
Where's it at?
Dude,
Where's it at?
my average
guide
game
my
duration-
mouse. Yeah, Scott, guide my mouse back to it. Where'd it go? I'm logged in now.
Ranked
Warmer.
1v1 ladder. For some
Warmer.
reason.
There we go. Okay.
Bottom
Okay, so there I
row.
am. No, I'm actually okay. There I am. I'm at the top 14% or top 3% to top 14%. So that's good, man. I feel so much better about myself. Holy crap! Wow.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Wow. Okay, and this is a good lesson for everyone else. Like you're probably sitting in the middle. Like I mean, and now Beastie is this little tiny pinprick right here.
All right, we don't got to talk about him, dude.
I mean, he's really well known, but he is up there. He's in the shadow realms of like he's in another dimension.
most
Okay, like
definitely.
it's
That's the same issue for like every RTS or ladder system game
Yeah.
in general. Like there's the best players, they will just continue to win.
yeah. I mean, I feel so much better myself seeing that I am like over a full standard deviation above. Like that is like, oh, it's working,
Yeah, that was
guys.
the
It's
best thing you
working.
ever. That's the best thing you ever dropped in here.
Wow.
this
Okay, I'm never
heartwarming.
going to do any game reviews for any of you guys ever again.
We're just so we're just so used to being told like, oh, you did so bad. What are you doing? Like, I can just see Ask be like, what are you doing? Why did you leave that there? Why are you not clicking up your wheelbarrow?
Oh, dude.
That's my
I
Ask.
love
impersonation.
going into streams and just waiting for Askeladd to show up and just start yelling at the streamer. That's my
It's
favorite
like
pastime.
Beetlejuice, right? You
Right,
just say it enough
rough.
times, he just pops up.
Like a
I don't
head
actually
coach
sound
being
like
over you.
that, do I?
No,
I've been-
not
Nah,
really.
nah.
I
I have
was
been on
being
such
very-
obscure streams, and then Askeladd just shows up, and I'm like, how? How is he here?
What is you guys' average game duration? Game length?
Oh god, please don't ask me that.
Pretty short.
Yeah, mine's short. I realize mine's short. Like I think mine's around like 16, 20 minutes. Anything above that, I think I lose.
That's because you don't like fast castle people because it counters.
Yeah, dude.
Because it counters short game strategies. See,
man, if they had a feudal game mode, I might play that the most. It's
Ottomans
weird.
has the highest win rating for where I'm at right now in the ladder. Actually, the mid ladder, upper mid ladder, that Ottomans is taking the cake, and then Joan d'Arc and Ubids is sitting at 51%. Cheating civware, anyone?
Cheating civware.
Oof, HRE at the bottom though, 44%. My heart.
Oh, I love that at the top side, the French win rate
up
goes
to 80
0
and
because
then
nobody's playing
down
French.
to 0. Yeah, that's wild. This is really fast. This is some of the most interesting stats I've seen.
I did not know this
also
existed.
Looking at it, if you have a super low elo, Canal games run the longest, and then at the highest elo, they are the shortest games.
Except for like in Conk 1, they pop back up again.
Yeah. Pops up for a second, and then just dips back down.
That's interesting.
That's interesting. The game's
Conk 1 is all the diamonds that got to Conk and never played a game again.
Yeah.
This is the most fascinating thing I've seen.
They fixed that though, right? Because they made it so it takes your peak and not your.
Yeah, but
current.
like it still shows only if you hover over it. Like there's a little eye in the corner where you have to hover over to see that guy was actually hitting Conk at some point.
Interesting.
Oh, you know what? Each of the gold levels is 100, and then the two top silver ones are 50-50. And plat is 100, and then 50-50, and then diamond 150-50, and then conquer is just something else entirely.
Yeah, new players, they have long games. Jeez.
Well, just think, to be at 0 ELO, that's as rare as it is to be beastie up in the top like 2300.
You are the anti-beastie.
Equally as rare to be that bad at the game. Like most of us, because if you were to go right here, the most average is going to be like 60% of people are going to be in the like one standard deviation either way. So like in that middle chunk, if you just kind of cut off the wings of this, 66% of people are going to be in this middle area, right in the middle. I guess right here, especially. This is a really nice looking curve. This is the actual truly nice.
This is really interesting. This is very interesting.
Man,
I like this.
I was not expecting to see this today, but I am so glad I can share my screen. For anyone who's listening to this post on the actual Spotify podcast, you should probably hop over and just watch it on the YouTube if you can, because man, this is fascinating stuff to be able to actually look at this live.
Who knows?
Yeah, hey, for World is cool. They do have a patron, so if you want to help them out with their server costs,
we need to get them on the show. We need to get them on here and have them chat with us about some of the behind the scenes. This is some cool stuff.
We're gonna need more cameras.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. I'm gonna run out of screen space here. Okay, back to the patch notes. Jeez, this is always what happens. We have like this great episode plan.
Talk about a standard deviation, am I right?
Oh no! Let's
talk about math on stream. Let's go.
Oh jeez, standard deviation. The pun strikes once again. All right, so specific map changes. Let's get into that. There was an issue on African waters where large gold deposits failed to spawn on top of the elevated plateau. They have since fixed that. In Archipelago, they corrected an issue where random starting locations on Archipelago were not randomizing correctly. Baltic, the sacred sites should no longer spawn next to each other. That's nice.
Did you want this on screen?
No. We can just talk about it. It's just a bunch of words. I'm just reading it. I wanted to make your face bigger, Caleb, but I wanted to see it more.
No, I'm just I forget to switch the scene sometimes, so I just like to ask.
Boulder Bay, the free-for-all games on Boulder Bay should no longer split players' spawns into two groups as if it was a teams versus team configuration game. Wow, what does that look like then?
Boulder Bay, I think.
So it's just like two people close to each other on each side or something like that.
Because if it's a free-for-all, now it's just gonna.
Now it's gonna spawn them, I think, probably evenly in a circle or grid.
Interesting.
I think free for all is not people don't play on Boulder Bay on free for all.
I'm just thinking how awful that would be to play on that map.
That'd be hard in general. Free for all on Boulder Bay. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that would be absolutely miserable.
That'd be different.
Canal town centers on Canal should no longer spawn submerged within the river's waters. That sounds good. Don't build your house in a floodplain. Come on, guys.
I'm into that.
On Glade, units can no longer pass between sparse wood lines in Glade on large and gigantic maps. I was seeing some bugs where that was happening. I'm glad they fixed that. Golden Pit, they fixed a rare issue on Golden Pit where large gold deposits were not spawning inside the pit. They also removed this is the big one though, is they removed neutral trade posts from Golden Pit and repositioned the sacred sites to the outskirts of the pit. So they've changed that because originally, so you had the corners, right? You had the
change, but I dislike it. If I play Byzantines,
you had the corners with so there's no trade posts on the map.
There's no trade posts in the map, and the sacred sites have been moved from the corners behind the woods to be just kind of on the side now. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And now I think I remember Beale. If I recall, it was you, Beale, who mentioned that you liked that they had 2 ways to get gold in this map, and the trade was in the corner, but then you had the gold in the middle. And I think you said you liked that there was kind of this back and forth play of you could do either. I don't think I've ever seen trade on this map though.
I think Bill's muted.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe I muted him globally because he's
back. There we go. He's back. There he is. Yeah, that's how you were going in. I was like,
trade apologist. No, I did originally like it before. I played a lot of games on the map and saw that it really. The game is basically over before somebody takes the middle. I've noticed in a lot of 1v1s, it doesn't really come down to who controls the center. The game basically ends before that point. So I don't think having the neutral trade posts really affects anything, except for just enabling trade.
You're just not going to trade civs. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's fine.
That's a good point on that map because I would agree. I don't think I've ever seen. I mean, I've had a game or two where someone's tried taking the middle, but that's usually not what decides the game is who gets the middle. It's usually who's pushing into whom.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting point. Okay.
I have a different experience on that map because all my games go unfortunately as long as my starting gold has run out. The other gold is either occupied or it's also about to run out. I need to secure the middle. Pretty much every single game I played on that map ended in Castle Age with a keep in the middle.
That's interesting. I've had games that I've put keeps in the middle, but that's not what's decided the game. Interesting. Because you have the 2 golds, you have your main gold, and there is a secondary gold on the outskirts with you. Usually it's not too far, and then once that's out, so you start out with
small lanes.
Yeah, you got 4,000 gold to start with, near your base, relatively near your base, before you have to go into the big gold down the middle. So 8,000 gold will last you all the way through. Into castle at least.
Have you tried playing Japan?
You get stone though. You get stone from mining the stone. You get gold from stone and stone from gold. So you got even more to work with then, I think.
I've also just been playing feudal aggressive civs. So
yeah, I'm fast casting and just going right in. But...
Or is that it?
So what I'm hearing is that Sir Neville's really struggles in this map because he runs out of gold.
Hey, I'm not that. This not my strongest suit. This map right here.
I wonder why. I wonder why. Smells like map control. I thought we had map control at home.
Yeah, is that a no? Actually, I've been trying to get better at my long game, but yeah, actually, I've been going pits. Actually, surprised me. I think it's real. I like this map.
It's one of my favorites actually. In fact, we'll get to I've got a map tier list we'll be getting on here later, and I'm gonna advocate for being pretty up there.
Let's go.
Rocky River. On Rocky River, the 5 berries spawn per player in a more contested and balanced way, and 2 fish spawn per pond instead of 4.
That's trash.
So I'm looking at it because I didn't understand what in the world a more balanced and contested way meant.
There's more forward usually.
Well, I just knew what is balance? Balance would be in the middle, but more contested would be not in the middle. So I was really confused. And the answer is that they stagger spawn. So there's one on one person's side, one on the other person's side, one on one person's side, one on the other person's side, kind of between the ponds back and forth.
Okay.
And then there's only two fishing per pond. But on my map that I just got, almost all of the fishing holes spawned on the enemy side of the map.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about that change.
That's interesting.
It feels like they're discouraging the water play a little bit, which I've discovered personally. I don't like going for the water on this map. I'm a fast castle guy, so it just feels weird to have to play feudal and defend that as I try to castle up fast. I just fast castle. Every time I've gone against someone who's tried taking the water, normally I end up crushing them with my castle army and getting them off the water anyways. That feels like it's not worth it.
That's me judging you.
Racket's in the chat, right? He and I he and I have talked too about this. Like, we'll worry about water later. We'll do a hybrid build later. Right now, we're just gonna fast castle because it works. Darn it, it works. At least at Diamond, at least at Plat 2 and Fleet 3, it still works.
I don't see why they made it to where it's just 2 fish per pond though. It's on shoreline fish. Like, well, why nerf it? It's already limited fish to start.
From like the strategic decisions on that, like I mean, the strategic decision used to be like, oh, just take it, but now it's like, oh, it's probably not. Is
it worth it, Ian? Like, you're gonna be.
I don't know that it would be. How it'd almost be more worth to just go put a mill on it and just use your villagers at that point. I feel like that wouldn't be too bad. If you took map control, you could put vills on there and get food. But I don't know if I would want to put $100 100 wood logs, on there just to build a dock and then pump out fishing ships for 75 wood a pop. I don't know.
Like it's very shift dependent now if it's actually worth to go for it.
Yeah, I guess in Japan.
If you're playing Abbasid or
if your dock only costs 75 wood, then you're going significantly lower to get those 2 extra villagers for like 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. But
it you could just fast castle into Gulams,
of course.
Fast castle into Gulams. Isn't removing sacred sites from maps hurt, just objectively hurts Delhi though, right?
So pretty much. It just objectively
not that people play them, but it's
on 4 lakes they made a change that I didn't realize, that the sacred sites on a 1v1 map are not in the corners where you have to go sail to them. They're on the main map, which actually helps Delhi. There's only 2 of them instead of 4, but they're on the map and they're accessible, which I thought was a really interesting change, only for 1v1s on 4 lakes, I think.
Okay. Because there was forest ponds, and then there was 4 lakes.
4 lakes. 4 lakes was the one that had
4 lakes did have it. Okay.
Yeah. And now on 1v1s, the sacred sites are on the mainland now, which is I actually like that, because I feel like that puts it in play, because I'm never going to sail out and go get them on the corner. That's so much effort and work. Never going to do it.
Well, yeah, it's like...
it's not a win. It's no longer a win condition. You're never going to get all 4.
Yeah. No, I just think I don't know. I think it's an interesting thing that it doesn't feel like they consider much, is the sacred site thing with having a civ whose whole identity is that, where they seem to change that quite a bit on certain maps. Or we'll move this one around. And it doesn't impact hardly anybody except for Delhi players, where it's moving that over a little bit so it's harder or easier to wall makes it way different.
No, we're going to affect 2% of the player base. Anyway,
but in theory, it's something you should consider.
We'd hope that would not be 2%,
but I do know, I think they sort of looked at that, and I can't remember. I think it was going into season 5 where they decreased the bonuses that Delhi got from sacred sites, but gave them bonuses in other areas. Yeah. To sort of get them away from that. Mm-hmm. That balanced nightmare of okay, we always need to think about sacred sites for Delhi players.
Yeah.
Well, I wish they do that for Roos. We always need to think about that deer pack. Right. See, that's the same thing. It's like those memes where when someone says it, then someone else of a different demographic says it. It's all super different and bad. Anyways, when Delhi does it, it's oh yeah, it's good. When I do it, they're calling HR on me.
They call HR on me.
It's the same kind of thing, right? How it forces you to change your build. It forces you to change what you're doing. Every sim does that to an extent.
I don't necessarily agree with doing that. With the Delhi, as far as I think them having that identity, the Roos with the animals, is good. I just think that because their sacred sites are way more generalized than deer packs, deer packs are literally useful to everybody.
Mm-hmm. No, that's
and
fair.
the sacred sites are very, I don't know. It's
kind of like the relics in HRE in some ways, though, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
move the relics to the middle of the map, and you're just crying in your bed.
I mean, because no other civ gets bonuses to relics other than HRE that I know of, right?
Mm-hmm. China.
Do they?
Yeah. Well,
China variants. Pagodas are actually so much better than HRE.
I'd like to quote American Jeremy, where if a game goes longer than 45 minutes, I just GGs.
I just GGs.
Okay, here's the thing. You can Yuan Dynasty Rush with sushi in 7 minutes.
That is disgusting and shouldn't exist.
It's true.
It is.
It's a real problem.
But then you just send your feudal army in and they just collapse. But
I mean, yes, you probably die, but you can do it. I did it before.
46 is just too
And I
long.
died.
That's the real problem.
All right, last map to talk about for the patch notes. We will get through this episode one way or another, chat. We will do it, guys. Thickets. Fixed an issue on Thickets map where stone deposits could spawn too close to wood lines, preventing OVO placement for Mongols players. Oh man, why'd they change that? That's hilarious. I live for the Mongol rage of just be like, I can't place my OVO. I love that. I wish that was still a thing.
Stop Mongol hate.
Stop Mongol hate.
Mongol hate.
They reduced the sacred sites from 3 to 2. There's your Delhi nerf on Thickets. Change secondary site to spawn contested between the players. Some other general changes.
Don't care.
Yeah, I don't like the map that much. We'll get there soon.
Yeah, it's weird.
Trader production time has increased from 25 seconds to 30 seconds, so another nerf to trade.
I like that.
I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like trade's an okay spot. I don't mind it because I don't trade very often, but I don't mind it.
It's not bad.
Fixed an issue where relics could be duplicated using transport ships. That sounds wild.
I know that was a thing. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. That's wild. Walls no longer
Let's
generate.
all agree on good change.
Yeah, good change. I just didn't even know it was a thing. So walls no longer generate gap fillers in the space between the wall and individual trees. That's nice. Walls will continue to generate gap fillers against dense forests. That works. Can we talk about the wall update for just a quick second? I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed the update to the wall.
Incredible.
It's been great.
Good.
I got no complaints about that for sure.
How often do you die because you walled through a resource and then you mined out the resource and forgot about the hole in the wall?
Never.
I've done that. Most
Never.
definitely.
Every time I've ever come up to that, I just wall around it real quick and then take it. I've always just been because it's right there. I'm never worried about it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna need to take this. Let me just wrap around and then grab it because it's always been safe that way.
You could have saved 10 wood on that wall.
You could have started that question with, how often do you wall?
How often do you wall? Yeah, that's the better question.
Yeah, you Joan players.
I say, well, even as a fast castle guy, it's pretty rare. I might put one on the side, but I don't wall my base. Every time I see someone wall in their entire base, I kind of just die inside a little bit. And it's kind of like
Socerton's like, yeah, when they have time to strike back, I'm dead. So
no, I'm like all in on Gulams or bust. Like once that fails, I really am kind of scrambling to wall my back off and stuff. Actually, sometimes I have to wall off feudal.
Away from saying Gulams are busted.
Sometimes I'll I wouldn't say they're busted. There's ways to counter them, but they're good. They're good. Actually, I was thinking I had an idea maybe for after the new year of doing a tier list of all the different types of men-at-arms in the game.
Right, let's do units. Let's do all the units.
Well, I want to just focus on just men-at-arms, and then just focus on like knight and knight adjacent units. Like,
are there that many different variants of men-at-arms?
Yeah, you've got.
There actually is now. I think about it.
And and then you've got like the chat at arms, with the upgrade that English get. You get English. The upgraded HRE boys. I think there's enough. I think there's enough. It'd be kind of fun to do a tier list of them and to kind of rank them.
Men-at-arms really have transcended.
The French have really good drip, I guess.
Dude, I don't think they're the best knights anymore. They don't look the best anymore.
They're not the best knights. They're not the best men-at-arms. They're not the best.
Oh man!
Just let's end it right there.
Oh man,
they're not the best. They're not the best.
No, I still. Side note, I still appreciate French more than Joan. I'm weird.
Musafati.
That's a preference.
Racket adds in Musafati, technically a man-at-arms.
Oh yeah,
men-at-arms.
Kind of.
They're not a men-at-arms replacement. They're a special unit. They're different.
We'll count them in that. I'd count them in that though, just because they're weird.
They're not armored.
Yeah, they're not armored. Yeah, that's weird.
French isn't even the best French.
Roos is the best French, if we're being honest.
Roos is the best French.
Dude, this French slander is driving me up a wall. Okay, I can't do it. I stay by French.
But have you tried playing Roos?
Hey, I've been playing Roos a lot more this season. They are actually kind of a better.
I've been thinking about going back to Roos and trying to learn.
Roos is incredible, dude. Roos is so great.
Men-at-arms. Yeah, that's a good point, Artemis. Because aren't Musafati a female? Yeah, I mean, technically. Oh, Samurai would count. Samurai would be another men-at-arms too.
Level 2 Jean.
Level 2 Jean. Yeah, we can count her. I mean, I'm down for or her champions even. I'd be down to count some of those.
Oh yeah, the champions.
All right, moving on though. We'll get to that. That'll be a future episode, probably after the new year. I'll set it up for. We'll do a tier list. It'll be great. Fix an issue, man. We almost just go live every time. This is so much fun.
I'm down. Let me know.
Fix an issue where gates can be built overlapping enemy walls, allowing units to pass through. Fix some buildings with upgrades having the wrong appearance in Fog of War after being destroyed, and then fix a crash that could occur while issuing or canceling a lot of commands at once. Boy, I imagine. I just imagine BC like building and canceling a bunch of stuff. It just crashing every 30 seconds. Freaking out about it. I know. Because I don't think I move fast enough to queue and cancel that much stuff at once.
I'm not glad. That'd be the coolest way to leave a game. Like, you just APM your way out of a game. I was like, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm just that awesome. I'm gonna crash my game. I'll take it.
Oh man. All right. Some siege updates. This is some big news. The Trebuchet. The Trebuchet.
Ooh.
I'm Chet you betcha.
like
Counterweight Trebuchet.
Chet you betcha. Dude, that'd be such a good meme for the game.
Turrets, right?
Just have like Trebuchet, but I have. It's so stupid.
I got you, Caleb. I got you. That's good. The counterweight Treb's attack speed improved from 12.6 to improved. Oh yeah, it's improved from 11.6 to 12.6 to 11.3, and the Mongols the Treb from 9.6 to 8.6 seconds. So essentially, they're just getting faster, a little bit faster. That means more damage output. That means buff.
It bugs me that this game does attack speed backwards from every other game in existence.
Yep. It's so annoying.
There's an unspoken.
Don't even understand it themselves.
Yeah, I had to think about how to reverse it.
Other people writing the tooltips, I don't know. Someone is messing up.
Dude, the tooltips in general. I will say, I'm very pleased with how the devs have handled the game recently. I really like the direction they're taking a lot of things. I think they've done a very good job with this update and patch. I'm still gonna rib them for the absolutely atrocious UI and some of the tooltips. Okay, actually,
where's Bitterland?
Dude, I had multiple times where my game kept throwing stuff at me, and I could not get it to stop. I was mid-ranked ladder, and it's like, here's how to build a farm, and it was trying to force me to build a farm. I was literally raging at this thing.
Oh yeah, the new update was so bad in that it auto re-enabled those tutorials.
Oh, that was bad.
I was a little angry.
I was more than a little angry.
Resetting custom games from team together to random spawns, and then you had a bunch of people complaining like the custom games just broke because maps aren't set up to be generated for random spawns, even in 1v1.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Culverin ranged armor.
And telling you how to build a farm. That'd be pretty good.
That's kind of how I felt though. I'm here about to enter. I'm a game or two away from diamond. I'm on the upper end of the bell curve. And I'm like, I don't need to know how to build a farm. Like, you get out of here with that. I was so mad.
By the way, in case you forgot.
In case you forgot, it's a critical game.
Playing Ayubids, taking berries the entire game and ending it at 10 minutes. Did you know that you can also farm transitions?
What's a farm?
Farm. That's a weird word. Culverin ranged armor has been reduced from 20 to 10, so now you can just doink it down with arrows. Sprinkled range armor also from 20 to 10, so now all those longbows can just start sniping it. What was that?
I'm trying to think of ranged units that have above 10 attack, and where this actually comes into play.
I think crossbows, and I think actually if you get all of your upgrades for your
does a normal archer get up to 11?
Yeah, crossbows are at 12 and 15. So crossbows are going to be doing 5 a pop. Yeah. That's an elite, but still.
Yeah, you get enough of those. That's
so it's more of
instead of one.
It's getting 2 or 3 shot one. So.
But it doubles the damage they do in castle. So instead of 1, they're doing 2 in castle.
Okay.
Do ranged armor upgrades apply to siege?
That's a good question. I actually don't know.
They do not. You have siege works as an extra upgrade.
Okay. So then crossbows are doing 2 damage instead of 1 in castle.
So if you get enough of them, you can. It'll make a difference.
Don't Springolds do range damage too, right? So this is actually going to make the Springolds better at killing stuff.
I don't think they do. I think they do.
Do they? Is it siege?
Or they do a certain base damage and then a lot of plus bonus damage
against siege. Yeah.
Springolds do 30 base damage and plus 70 to siege.
So it's another 10 damage for Springolds then, though.
Yeah.
Right, but I don't know if that pushes because with Springolds,
I don't think it changes the amount of hits you need.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it changes anything
that you care about.
Okay. We do have an ad coming up on the stream here in a little bit. We've been going for about an hour. I've got our actual break time. I've got an actual ad. I'll just run just for funsies, but we might take a quick couple breaks here in a bit. But we're gonna keep going. Civilization-specific changes. We're going to go through, starting with Abbasid. The House of Wisdom, they corrected an issue where traders would not spawn when using Trade Wing to go to the feudal age. That would suck.
That'd be
I'd be livid.
That's a pretty good fix.
We finally fixed trade, guys. Let's go.
All right, here's a big one. Byzantines. This has got some big changes here. Most people probably know about these now, but just in case you're, I don't know, haven't heard about these yet, starting stone has increased from 50 to 100. That's pretty much the only buff that I think they were given, because everything else is mostly a nerf coming up. The Imperial Hippodrome landmark, the starting Triumph supply points has been reduced from 30 to 10, and the Triumph ability duration has been reduced from 1.5 seconds per supply to 1 second per supply point. Boy, supply point. That's the most nerdy thing I think I've said all day.
Supply point.
Right next to like sorcery points.
It sounds like you're playing the most boring board game in the world.
It really does. It's all about the cones of Dunshire. It's all about the cones. The maximum number of Triumph points has been increased, however, from 40 to 45. Greek fire projectiles. Oh, go ahead.
Does this stone increase it allows them to build 2 cisterns then for free instead of just 1?
Yeah,
nice.
So that is pretty big.
It's not
50
for free, but you have to long distance mine 50 stone, and then you get the second cistern.
Yeah. So it does make it.
You don't
it
need to
starts
go
at
for
50.
mining camp or anything.
Got it. Because the next
up.
one's 100. Yep. Got it.
That's. I mean, I've had some people say. I forget who it was. Someone was in my chat. I want to say it might have been like Bandit. It might have been the name. I think I mentioned that he was playing a lot of Byzantines and mentioned that he thought it was actually a nice buff there. And he said that if everyone's discounting it as nothing, and he felt like that was actually a pretty sizable change. I don't disagree. I do think some of the rest of this does kind of not negate it. I think Byzantines is still kind of coming to itself. I don't hate the nerfs they gave to it, because once Byzantines gets to a really established castle age and they're set and their eco's finally warmed up, you can't stop them. But just don't let them do that, you know. Moving forward, Greek fire projectiles technology no longer applies to non-trebuchet units. Cataphracts.
That's pretty good.
The health has been reduced from cataphracts from 425 to 405 in the Imperial Age. And that's still a lot of health. I don't think that's a bad thing. Extra 20 damage. I mean,
20 health in the Imperial Age, though. I mean, it's some, but it's not.
It's something, but not. Yeah, he's already.
Games aren't going that far generally, anyway.
He's still got 405 anyways. That's still above 400. You're tanky as heck. I mean, plus considering you can gulp if you want, or you can do other couple things depending on how you build your thing. Yeah, if you want to do the gulp, and I mean, you have to build towards that. But the numeric
gulp
technology
is not as good in Imperial.
It's really not. Reduce the amount of increased damage taken by trample targets from 25% to 15%. So that's been nerfed down, so you're not getting trampled quite as hard. Charging units will no longer be stopped if they are charged through a Cheresiphan's fire.
Okay, that's good.
Nice, you practiced.
I just said that was off the cuff. Corrected an issue where resources per minute would not appear on Byzantine's religious buildings with relics garrisoned. Fixed an issue where the Byzantine, man, they had a lot of issues. Fixed an issue where the Byzantine's trader was generating more olive oil than intended. It is now 20%, like the description states. Fixed an issue where the Byzantine's military production modifier from cisterns was incorrectly applying to traders. And the cheat Smorgasbord now grants oil to Byzantine players.
That's a little out of balance.
Finally.
Dude, that's a good buff.
That's a pretty good buff. Yeah.
Thank goodness. Our enabled cheats work, right?
I mean, looking at these, did anybody have any issues facing Byzantines where, I mean, maybe like Triumph was a little overpowered going into feudal?
I would say
overtuned, maybe. But honestly, none of these, like, I don't know. I don't remember being enraged by the increased damage taken after being trampled. Like, I never had an issue with that.
It's not something I feel like as a player I would have noticed, frankly. And maybe that just speaks to me not being a super high-end player, or like maybe a Marine Lord or someone would be like, what the heck is going on? I didn't notice it, frankly. You
don't notice it because no Byzantine survived Imperial Age.
I mean, yeah, for one. I think I'm with you, Beale. I don't know that they're in a strong enough spot where I feel like they needed a kind of nerf.
I've really ever complained about that. I mean, except for maybe Triumph, because you could do some wonky things with a couple of scouts.
I mean,
Triumph on them as you hit feudal.
It could have been an issue like in heavy team game players too.
That's what I was thinking. Team game. Yeah, we didn't think about.
It isn't necessarily only about 1v1 stuff. It could have been like a big issue where like late game Byzantines in a 4v4 would just smash through people because of 25%.
I will say I don't hate these nerfs either, though, right? Like I don't feel like they got nerfed into the ground. I feel like, for me, it's good for me because I feel like I go into them a little easier still. It's not as oppressive when they get ahead a little bit. But at the same time, I don't feel like they got nerfed completely into the ground. I feel like cataphracts are still a very strong force to contend with when they get going. Byzantines, I think it's just their eco is just what pulls them back a bit. I think militarily, I think they're okay. I think it's their eco that really is difficult, because the nice thing about Byzantines is they can really, whatever you build, they can find a counter for it. Like if they plan right with their mercenary wing, they can build a counter to whatever you want to do, almost anything, right? So
every unit in the game
is showing.
My what?
Your mercenary wing is there.
My mercenary wing, yeah. Like they can counter just about whatever they want as long as they pick the right option. They've got a lot of I'm not sure whether I have the right word, but they've got a lot of versatility, I think. The problem is I feel like it's like that old phrase, like a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. So it depends.
I don't know. I feel like so I'm gonna do not off topic. I'm gonna use a different game as an example. In League of Legends, some champions' strengths are that in the middle of a game they can flex what they do, or like before games, like Shaco can pick attack damage or ability power, right? And then before the game, you can look at your own comp and decide. I feel like that was like the idea with Byzantines, being able to pick other people's special units and stuff. But like, where would that shine? Generally in team games, not really solo, because it's like because the eco's hard to flex in this game. It's really hard to kind of make it impactful. But then in team games, people generally pick like one thing. That's like you're the archer guy, you're the horse guy. So it's kind of like this weird, for this game specifically, the flexibility doesn't feel as impactful as it can in other games.
And I want to say, I think there's a civ that does the flexibility better, like Abbasid. Now that House of Wisdom does, like, all of the wings are viable at feudal. Abbasid does that flex really well.
Yeah, Abbasid is the prime Middle Eastern civilization over Ubits. I said it.
Snubbles, you're not gonna get me to pick one or the other, because I literally just mained one before the other, so I love them both.
Listen,
historically, I think the Abbasids,
they did. Historically,
but Saladin had his moments, Sir Neville's. He had his moment, and it was glorious.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, man. I think they're like the enterprises of algebra. Like the Abbasid dynasty is just prime. Okay, you gotta pick one or the other. Sock. You can't just be like, you can't be in the middle.
Both. I picked Ayubis because I really enjoyed playing with Abbasid. I really like them both, and I haven't played Abbasid this season, but I feel like I'm a really good Ayubis player because of my time and love I gave to Abbasid last season.
Mm-hmm. Bill's got something to say. I see it.
Yeah. When in your life have you defended something with you like, they invented algebra? Damn, you know what, man? I love algebra. That's wrong.
I gotta reach. What do you realize about me is that I will reach to prove any point I will reach in any direction I have to. But Abbasid is prime.
Starting a cult.
I will say, I every now and then I do use, because I do video, and sometimes I'm calculating the frame rate versus I'm just trying to zoom in with the frame rate and count how much I need to like what ratio I need to do. If I make a cut, can it match the same speed of zoom in? So every now and then I do use algebra for my work, and I'm always surprised.
Chat's agreeing with me. And I appreciate that.
I know, Mark 2.0's got your back.
And Jeremy, and my dog Jeremy. Abba all the way, baby.
I like Abbasid.
I do. You been imposters out of here.
Algebra civ.
I think we're missing the point here. Socerton is not maining a civ; he's maining gulams.
There we go. I do love me some gulams. They're just so manly with their big swords. They just go.
Yeah, you can get them in 8 minutes. That's crazy.
Yeah, but like Beale said, I think the
bad. I love it. I love all the slander.
Better at flexing, because they don't flex to specific units. They flex to like a new game plan. So like you pick a wing, and that's like your game plan early on, and as opposed to the Byzantines, where they're like game plan's kind of the same most of the time. and that game plan is get flexible units with like certain builds. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just feels kind of weird.
No, because AoE is really designed on the top level, like strategic level of aggression, eco, tech, and which ways you flex into that. And Abbasid, that's how they choose their strategy versus Byzantines are, what's your army comp going to be?
Yeah, and that's way less deciding in this game.
Yeah, Byzantines are an interesting civ. It's funny that I feel like the pros are just like hell bent on using them too. You know,
not in the tournament. I don't think they were banned or picked in the.
They weren't.
Money's on the line.
On the ranked ladder, though, man, it is like they are all like hell bent on playing only Byzantines.
Well, I mean, if you want like something to look at, like how pros think civs are balanced, put $9,000 on the table and see who they ban.
Exactly.
Who they pick.
Exactly. That's how you really test it.
That's true. It's true. That's a really good point. Yeah. Well, and for all the smack and talk, I was.
Money.
What was that?
Yeah.
The Turin, what was it? The Turin tournament, the 1v1 Turin tournament. He hosted like 1.5 weeks back. I don't know. It had a pick ban system where you banned like 6 civs, I think, and you played what was left in the best best of ones. Yes. Oh, okay. Wait, was it 8 civs?
Oh my gosh.
It was a big number. Anyway, there was a lot of Byzantine play.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Did Mongols or Rus get to play?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Wow. I bet Mongols. I bet. What else would be really a Rus? Yeah, but that wasn't ever going to get played. Ottomans probably wasn't being played too much. Yeah, I don't
think Sushi played a lot.
Yeah, Sushi.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. That's a really good point, you know, especially considering how much flack I was getting upset with some of the top streamers for being like, it's like I only play Byzantines, and you know, it's like okay, like they're all trying to make it work, and they're just not that they're a bad civ, they're just clearly not. I mean, I think you said it, Beale. You put money on the table, and suddenly they're not picking Byzantines.
All of a sudden, their actual opinions come out.
I know.
And like,
I think Beastie just came out and said recently that Joan of Arc. I saw a Reddit post saying that he said that that Joan of Arc is not overpowered, and people will figure out how to play her against her in 6 months or something like that.
Yeah,
and I'm very curious.
Only 6 months. Only 6 months. No big deal.
I'm really, I'm really curious to see how the Reddit hive mind is going to take that and then either change their tune or keep railing against Joan of Arc, because they really hate Joan of Arc, and I don't like her very much. I think I'm on the same page with Askeladd in that I just want it to be fun to play against her. But I'm curious now that our chief among us, Beastie, has said something, how that's going to translate to everyone's opinions. Like, it's really funny how where he goes, so do his opinion of players more often than not.
Lord Beastie.
I mean, in the EGC chat, I think Beastie lost the game against Joan, and like a bunch of people were saying, "Oh, how many people are going to get banned from Beastie by bringing this up the next time?"
Probably a lot.
Oh,
yeah, I bet I'd be salty. I bet he's
guy.
salty about it. Oh, that's funny.
Nah,
I never know how much. I never know how much I should like poke fun at Beastie or not, because he's like the top dog, right? Like I don't want to
poke fun all the time.
Like part of me like wants to keep poking, just to be kind of like I not like in his chat. Like I don't ever like at him, but like on our in our space, you know, how much can I poke the beast and just like kind of make silly comments about that? Like I don't want to instigate anything. I got nothing against him. He's the top guy, and he says things sometimes.
You say one thing, dude, you're getting a timeout. You're like, you could have micro a little better on that game. He's like, what was that? Oh, get him out of here.
He has no backseating allowed, and I get it. I get when you're the best player in the world, you don't want anyone to backseat you. I get it. But yeah, I'm the kind of person, I'm like, Askeladd's in here like berating me. It's like, Soccer, do this better. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Askeladd, I'll do better for you.
Like I was so angry when you lost that last game there on the cliff side. Not because of your mindset. You were like, oh no, now I lost. You're in a great position, but I can't deal with this. I know.
I had been struggling last couple days.
Focus.
Askeladd's going for the any percent get banned in Beastie chat speed run.
Oh, dude, that'd be great.
Okay, so
Beastie would be called for if he let Askeladd backseat.
Right, exactly.
That's funny.
People will say
we got
it's
an ad
because
in
I
9
can't
seconds,
backseat
guys.
him, but I don't enjoy watching Beastie. I appreciate that he's doing great things for the community, but I just don't enjoy watching him. I'm sorry.
All right, we are on ad real quick, so anyone who's subscribed will hear it. We're still recording, so we can just keep chatting. I actually,
So
I kinda,
this is special for you.
special for the
Quick, let's do the quintet we practiced.
I actually agree with you, Askeladd. I'm dreaming.
Christmas.
All
All right, we only have 3 minutes to practice. That's I was supposed to beatbox. I don't hear the percussion.
Sorry, I was eating. I couldn't practice.
No, I agree with you, Askeladd. For whatever reason, he's not my favorite streamer, which I don't think that's anything against him. He's not my personally favorite streamer. I don't love his streams. I don't love the vibe entirely. That's just me. Like I sometimes I feel that way about different streamers on and off, depending on what they're talking about. I'm sure some people feel that about myself sometimes.
My favorite streamer was and probably still is Grubby.
Oh,
just because of the vibe of his streams. And
Grubby,
even after he switched to Dota, I'm still enjoying watching him, even though I can't stomach Dota players.
I miss when he played AoE4. He was a big
Dota
factor.
Viewers.
He was a big factor of what got me into this game. He's a smart guy. He's really nice, really accessible. He seems very approachable, which I think for a streamer is incredibly important. And some guys, I hate to say it, but I don't feel personally that Beastie's super approachable that way. Maybe it's because he's Eastern European. No. Maybe it's because it's just who he is. I don't know.
Because it's Eastern European.
Keep shooting.
That's like who needs a toxic beanie? I see the toxic beanie. The toxic ski mask.
I know. I'm really being off.
I don't have a toxic ski mask right there.
Yeah, you need a toxic ski mask. You guys are going crazy. I'm over here like, wow, these guys.
I really don't have any problem with BC genuinely. I don't mind it, but he's just not for me. And that's just
understandable.
It's just not for me. And maybe it is the vibe, and I can maybe point to things that aren't reasons why. But yeah, dude, I agree with Askeladd. Grubby was, I think, the best AoE4 streamer. And like his I think he's just a good streamer in general. I miss when he played AoE4.
Mine was Viper.
Oh, Viper's pretty good too. Yeah.
Yeah, Viper is my favorite.
Did you see the collab of Grubby and Viper? It was so hard.
I watched it.
Was so good.
I watched the whole thing. Wait, are we still doing the civ right now? Because
we're still going through patch notes. Yeah, we're still going through patch notes.
Make sure I'm on the still right page. I'm like,
we're just here fangirling. It's fine.
Oh yeah,
we hit Byzantines and got off the rails eventually, and now we got to get back on. Here.
In a live show, this probably gonna happen. This is it's gonna go crazy.
My wife's telling me to get back on track.
There we go. The boss has spoken. The boss has spoken, bro.
The French Guildhall landmark stone generation has been reduced.
Oh man, okay.
Which I believe that's good. What you just said, Caleb. That's good.
Well, we got a minute left on the ads coming in here. Anyone who's listening post this is anyone who's watching either the video on YouTube or listening on Spotify is kind of like really stop talking about the live stuff. There's only 14 of them in the chat. But we'll go ahead and move on to French. The only change for the French this patch was that the Guildhall landmark's stone generation rate has been reduced by 50%.
That's good.
Good change. Japanese, quite a couple things here. A Koka Township landmark with a shinobi. When using the Shunshin ability to teleport, it is no longer possible for them to teleport to the center of the map. Good change. Good change. I don't know how that.
Fix, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why that's not in bug fix, but hey.
Yeah. And now they have the ability to use the teleport on top of stone walls. Targeting a stone wall directly no longer teleports unit to the other side of the wall. Ooh.
That's stupid.
I don't know if I like that change.
I don't like it either.
Does that mean they can use the gate to get inside?
I mean, they could just teleport through.
But what if there's no gate?
It says targeting a stone wall directly no longer teleports the unit to the other side of the wall.
Yeah, you put them on top of the wall, right?
Now you can choose.
Now it works correctly.
Got it.
So what's the issue?
Nope, that works. That works.
I read that wrong.
I read it wrong, thinking that they couldn't go across the wall if they didn't want to.
Yeah.
Now you have to pull a Neville's special and rotate the camera.
Rotate the map around. There you go. No, actually, I might have to re-talk about that one later. I know
you started something on Reddit.
I was ready, but who knows? I'm still gonna stay strong on it just for the simple part. I'm gonna be stubborn. Like, actually, it's great. So I'm not gonna go back on it just yet.
I added you too. I added you on that.
Yeah, no, I've seen that. That's crazy.
Means we're being
I got a question here.
Yeah.
Shinobi can now go to the top of the walls. When was the last time any one of us have put a unit on top of stone walls?
I never.
It's been a long time.
I don't think I've ever done it.
When's the last time anyone's made stone walls?
When my opponent builds stone walls and I raise them, and then there's like a thing to go up, and there's melee units that try to kill my archers.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's about it.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's like a very logical way to do it.
I don't build stone walls enough to put stuff on there. Like I don't like putting archers on. Like I know they get a huge like defensive buff when you put them up there, but like I never do. It's a weird mechanic that doesn't work super well. It's up there in the echelons of when's the last time anyone's built a siege tower. It's just a mechanic that just doesn't work in the game, which is funny because it's one of the things that got me to go to the game and be like, that sounds so cool. It's one of the things that roped me in, and now
they rope you in with the siege towers and they make you stay for the
putting units on the stone walls was, I thought, the coolest thing because I'd never seen that in other older games, and I really liked it, and I wanted to do that. And yeah, I don't even do it anymore. I've come a long way. Back to Japanese.
At least putting units on top of a stone wall gives some sort of benefit than a siege tower.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, siege tower.
Garrison slots for the
you can build
storehouse.
a compensation tower instead.
Compensation tower.
Right, units, yeah.
Honestly, I gotta say, it's kind of underwhelming. That thing's kind of underwhelming. It's too slow.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
The most
I build it
thing to build the game. It's so cocky.
It just doesn't do anything. It's really cool when it can get to something, but it's too slow. The Kura storehouse.
For the memes.
Yeah, I built it for the memes too. The garrison slots on the storehouse have been reduced from 8 to 4.
That's a nerf.
I like the change. It's a good nerf. I like the change.
It's a good change.
The farm spawn frequency has been reduced from every 45 seconds to now every 50 seconds. So the farms are popping up a little bit slower. It's a decent change. Decent change. The floating gate, the Yoroshido sacred objects are no longer spawning on the ground and cannot be dropped. If a Shinto priest holding a Yoroshido dies, the Yoroshido is destroyed. Upon completion of the floating gate, the Shinto priest holding the Yoroshido is instantly trained. All future Yoroshido are held by the priest when they are trained, and the gate now has a rally point, and selecting the rally point to a valid building will allow a trained Shinto priest to deposit Yoroshido automatically. It is possible to rally point to multiple buildings to queue Yoroshido placement by subsequent Shinto priests. After doing that, they remain available units to use as a regular priest. The progress bar above the floating gate is now visible to indicate when the next priest will be trained, and buildings containing a deposited Yoroshido now also display a floating golden ink scroll icon above them. A maximum of 4 Yoroshido can exist at any one time per player. When you own 4, the floating gate will then pause production of new Shinto priests. If a building or a Shinto priest with a Yoroshido is destroyed, the floating gate will resume production of Shinto priests, and the priest production time has been reduced from 3 minutes to 2 minutes. The Yoroshido tooltip has been improved to clearly display available bonuses from depositing into various buildings. So it's like a
Yoroshido is used at least 10 times in this.
So let me interject real quick. Caleb, you've never played Japanese, right?
No.
Did you understand any of that?
Is that like some kind of like pseudo relic? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah.
It's a pseudo relic, and it used to scale infinitely. Now they're capped to 4. And you get them faster, and you get a free priest every time one spawns.
It's a good thing to become a Japanese main, is what you're saying.
It's great. It's a buff and a nerf. I call enough.
I think it. Listen, has anyone not lost their Yoroshido priest? Like, I think the fact that it spawns with one in his hand is the biggest buff in my. Like, I've always.
Walk me through it. So he spawns with one, and then he turns around and deposit it, or like
you choose what building you want to drop off. If he puts it in like a production building, it's going to produce things a lot faster. If you put it in a mill or a house, it produces passive food. Put it in a forge, which is a gold mine for Japanese, it produces passive gold. So, and
then do you build more, or do you build more priests that have
more priests pop out every so often with new ones? That's the new change.
Got it.
As it used to be, you just had one priest, and the Yoroshido would pop up as an object to go grab and then place. Now you just get a priest with it in hand, ready to go.
I think it's a buff for tempo, but a nerf, I guess, for very late post Imperial.
Yeah. It's a change. It's not a nerf. It's not a nerf.
Fast castle a little bit.
It's a buff for micro difficulties, because then you don't have to manage to go back. You just click the guy and you don't have to like.
For low skill players like myself, it's a buff.
Yeah, it's Sir Neville's is loving this.
Because like me, I have a big problem. Like when they spawn, I'm like, where is my shield? He's like mixing the villagers, like he's tucked in. I'm like, where is this guy at?
He always spawns I always had a
you
hard
spawning
time.
with it in your hand. I'm like, yeah, there he is. Grab him, put him somewhere, then lose him later. And there you go. So at least he gets it. At least he drops it off before I lose him. But I mean, I guess it's not really a buff or a nerf. It's kind of just it's a change.
It's an adjustment and then a nerf with the maxes. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a nerf and the maximum. Yeah, most definitely.
A buff and a nerf. It's just a change in general, and I think it's an okay change. I'm not upset by it by any means. I think it's a good.
Can we talk
change
about how
overall.
cool Castle of the Crow sounds, though? That's just such a good name, though.
Nobody builds it.
Nobody builds it.
Nobody ever builds the stuff that sounds cool, Ascalad. That's not how RTSs work.
I know.
I know. There's like the Griot Bara never gets used.
When did you last see a professional build 14 Ultralisks in StarCraft? Never. But they're the coolest unit.
Caitlyn built like 10 like a week ago. Okay, she's not really a professional, I guess.
Exactly.
All right, continue on. There's a lot more changes with this civ. Castle, the Crow landmark, the treasure caravans have been changed where they fixed an issue where the caravans are awarding too few resources on each trade trip when converting between land and sea trader. They no longer get stuck trying to embark or disembark when they reach the shore. So that's a fix, I guess. The Tanegashima gunsmith landmark. Starting stockpiles have been reduced from 5 to 2, which means you get 2 free tickets of free units instead of 5. 5 was broken, dude. 2, fair. That seems fair. The Ozutsu, the hand cannoneer guys, the melee armor has been reduced from 4 to zip 0 nilch nil.
Wow.
Ozutsu base damage has been reduced from 35 to 28. Basically, they took what was cool about this unit and nerfed it to the ground. Yeah, it's now.
Oh my god.
Good, dude. Those things were ridiculous.
They were ridiculous, but like when you let them get that far into Imperial Age, that's what you get. I was kind of okay with it.
Is this like the new Grenadier? Is that what's going on here?
Dude, I don't know. They were like grenade launchers.
They were like these dudes that could like. Everyone stopped.
They're a mix of a
I thought we were muted.
There's a mix of a mangonel and a hand cannoneer, and they have a heavy tech, so they're wearing heavy armor. You can't counter them with archers.
Dude, they were so strong.
Yeah, they were only counterable by crossbows, and even then, it's just like good luck. They needed a nerf, but I feel like this might have stripped away all the fun.
Blooded them into the floor, yeah.
Yeah.
4 to 0 is a lot.
They're still super strong. I mean, the nerf was needed, and they're still super good.
They are still really good. Yeah, they're still really good. I got cooked
by
one the other
broken. They definitely were like brokenly overpowered before, but now they're not.
Yeah.
Garrison arrows from Japanese town centers had more range than intended. They fixed that. Samurai Bannerman, they corrected an issue where a drop banner aura would stack with Uma Bannerman auras. That's kind of cool.
Nice.
Torches no longer activate or receive damage increase from the UI from Katana Bannerman and Uma Bannerman. The Onobugeisha, the crazy fast-running ladies of death, no longer lose access to field construction siege towers when using mixed selections with other infantry, and they can now be garrisoned into transports. They now believe in water.
It was actually so annoying when you wanted to drop down a bunch of rams and wait, why doesn't this work?
Yeah, that'd be frustrating.
I didn't realize that.
They flipped the samurai icon in the barracks to better distinguish it visually from the Onobugeisha icon next to it in the UI. That's a good change.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's a smart change. Little things like that make a big difference. Cows got nerfed. Malian cattle food per minute generation in ranches reduced from 28 to 25.
Was that an issue?
No, they're just overpowered. So I'm glad they're just getting nerfed because the cow boom has been. I hate.
Has it been strong?
I'm not a big fan of enormous amounts of passive income, and the fact that they can get passive gold and passive food is just a bit much.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh my gosh, Aaron! You didn't know there were cows? Aaron did an animal tier list, and she didn't put cows in there. Babe, you forgot the Khan's bird. She didn't put the Khan's bird, and now she forgot the cows in the tier list.
The Khan's bird.
The tier list that she made is
what kind
incomplete.
of bird is it? Have we found out?
It's a hawk.
Has anybody done the research?
It's a hawk, I think.
It's a hawk.
Hold on. What kind of birds did Khans use in Mongolia?
Was it a falcon?
A falcon.
List of birds in Mongolia. Well, they just got everything over there. Yeah.
Wait, Khan tooltips. Falcon.
Jeremy's right. It's not a bird. It's a drone. Government surveillance drone from Mongolia.
Drone.
Not an animal. Confirmed.
Listen here. How about you back off a little before you get hurt?
I saw a meme about that. It was like dogs when you pet their belly and it was all happy, and cats when you try to touch them and they get angry, and birds when you talk about the anti-government things and he's like staring.
Here's a buff, or I'm sorry, a nerf to Ottomans. Great bombard population has been increased from 3 to 4. That's a good change.
That's fine.
That's a fine change. Those things are so crazy good. It's fine. Variant civ changes. The Ayyubids, the House of Wisdom, the AI. This is one actually. The nerf to the Gamba Wing is one thing, but this is actually the thing that hurts me more. Is the age up time has been increased from 105 seconds to 120.
Yes.
That 15 seconds is a bit much.
Yes, exactly. There we go. There we go.
I don't like it. It means I'm aging. Well, I don't like that because there's nothing you can do to affect it. It's not like I can commit more villagers and have a trade-off. Give me a break, Beale. Give me a break. You play with Joan of Arc
every single time.
I got a small violin right here for you, man. Don't worry, dude.
I was fine with everything else. Right this one, because I mean, in all honesty, though, guys, with the increase of both Dark Age and Feudal Age aggression, that is kind of a big change. A quarter of a minute is a big change.
Listen, you little fast techies always got a problem with that. Listen, no.
When your whole civ is about tempo, when your entire civ is all about tempo and you slow the tempo by a quarter of a minute.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So that's flat for all landmarks,
that's
right?
Pretty rough.
For all landmarks. Doesn't matter what I do.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
So they had 105, and that is equivalent of like 3.5 villagers building a landmark.
Yeah,
and now it's
you
just
could just go advancement wing to go to castle, as like 95% of people did, and tune it down by what 60%?
Yeah,
50. I don't know.
Pretty rough. That's a pretty big change.
It's a hit. It's a hit.
I've been noticing it more because I really am. I've got my build kind of scaled and ready to go. I've got my build set to click up when I click up, and I usually age up at like 430. Like I'm not aging up at like crazy fast. Actually, that's supposed to have been now. I used to be able to do like 420 was around my age up. Now I'm like 430, 440. It slows down a lot. Like it's I don't know. I wish, because the thing I don't like about it is there's no way I can't change anything. Like if I'm aging up with like any other civ, I just throw more on there. I'm accepting I'm taking a bit of a hit to my ego, but I'm aging up faster. Like with this though, I have no choice in that, no say. I have no decision to making other than I just get to age up slower, and there's nothing I can do about it. So if I'm going against someone who's got Dark Age shenanigans, who's sending stuff in Dark Age, I just get screwed. So I don't know.
Think of it this way: you now have your whole build ready. Everything's to the second, and you have 15 seconds to go get some water, go to the bathroom. You have some time now.
There you go.
There we go.
It's a buff.
Yeah, it's not a buff. I think this is a change that's gotten very little attention. I think everyone looked at the Gamble Wing, which needed a nerf, and honestly, the nerf, because of the way I play, hasn't affected me that much. Honestly, like I've not noticed the Gamble Wing nerf that bad at all. This is the thing that's hurt me more, is that lack of tempo. That a quarter of a minute is significant when you've got Jeannie and her knights coming in right at the 5-minute mark. You know, like it's significant.
Beale should be excited for this next one, though.
That said, they did change a couple things though, because they removed the initial delay on training Desert Raiders from the military wing, so that makes up for it a little bit. And then the trade wing has been changed quite a bit, where the gold cost of each trade is increased, but then the value of resources you get has also increased. And the villagers, you can't get villagers from the trade wing anymore. And then
that's good.
And the number of options per trade has been reduced from 5 to 4. So that's heavily nerfed. I would say anyone who's complaining about that even still needs to look at themselves in the mirror and think about this.
So let me just.
I thought about it.
Go ahead, Beale.
Go ahead.
No. Like I was just gonna meme on him because the thingy where you age up and you get 4 unit trades and you just get 8 units at 4 minutes without a production building still exists, and then you just win the game.
If you get super duper lucky, no, it doesn't happen often. Needing 4 units, 8 units that'd be nice. I've only had that happen like once.
And when your age up time used to be 75 seconds, and then you went Castle Culture Wing and turned it into 45 seconds, with like a massive discount on aging up.
Oh, the castle timing's pretty decent still. It's got the tempo of the civ is still really good overall, I would say. But I've been noticing that change of the age of timing. I feel like that was a bit. It's a bit much. 10 seconds would have been nicer. 15 whole seconds, just extra.
Or just nerf the advancement
Yeah, just make that.
I mean,
like,
if you do that though,
15
then
seconds extra
we have
flat.
to take it. Then we have to. If we do that, we have to go and take an honest look at Jushi's legacy. Then,
I'm sure they
At
will.
least Zushi doesn't have any resources when they fast castle. Like,
but they
cannot build military.
But they're getting passive resources. I don't know about that. I think they're still equally as strong, if not more. And we still have a lot to talk about.
But
we still have a lot to talk about with Joan of Arc too. I'm just gonna say, you guys are acting like I got kitty gloves used for my civ when the kitty gloves were on for Joan of Arc. Heaven forbid they hurt the princess.
Look at that.
That's not OP. It's not OP. That's what
I'm about to see a live little beef argument between these two OP lovers. So they're like, my civ's worse. No, my civ got hurt harder. Let's hear it. Wait to see this go down.
Dervish's HP has been reduced from 150 to 120. The Tower of the Sultan build time has been okay. They buffed the Tower of the Sultan. Yippee!
Finally,
by 40 seconds.
More compensation.
It still sucks. No one should build that. Infantry support tech has been improved from 2 armor and 2 armor to 3 and 3. That's not bad.
Yeah.
And that's about it. There's a couple other small changes. But let's get to Joan of Arc, huh? Let's see all the horrible things that happen to her.
I want to have a tier list for the goofiest sounding words, and Dervish is really high up there.
Dervish is Dervish.
Caleb, you are offending someone's culture right now. I hope you know that.
It's a goofy word. I'm sorry. I'm not. It's my Alamo. It's Dervish. It doesn't even feel good.
Okay. So Joan of Arc. The biggest thing is that the experience gained from killing the boar, as I have said earlier in this episode, was 50 down to 25. And that's about it. Her champions got nerfed a little bit. Their armor went from 4 and 4 to 3 and 3. That's fair. It's fair. And that's about it, I think, for her. Red Palace landmark damage of bonus emplacements on keeps and town centers from 60 down to 40 to match for the French.
Okay.
So that's fine. Bonus emplacement range reduced from 10 to 9.5 to match the French. So they're just matching the landmarks to the other civ better. Guild Hall landmark stone generation down to 50 to match the French. Joan of Arc honorable heart tooltip change to reflect actual behavior. Whatever. Reduce the starting experience of Joan of Arc on Empire Wars from 500 to 400.
Dude, who's playing that?
I know. That's a great nerf if you're playing Empire Wars.
Dude, it's probably got like 12 mini Q times in Empire Wars.
Corrected an issue where French influence system was referenced in a few building tooltips for the Joan of Arc variant civilization. That's it.
Okay.
They did nothing. That's like nothing except that her boys that help her out are a little bit nerfed in our armory. I don't know. They need to
nerf the boys, honestly.
That's the right direction.
It's the right direction for sure. But still.
You're not going to convince me it's overpowered after what BC said. Sorry.
Oh my God. The fact remains that she is just not fun to play against, and she is incredibly good.
She is good.
There does need to be something that rewards a player for killing her and makes engaging against her army.
Yeah,
like
if they did that, it'd be
something
fine.
That feels beneficial. Yeah,
because I'll be honest, I don't think she's. If it weren't for the fact that she just pops right back up, I would not say she's overpowered. I'd say she's right. You know, it can be difficult when you got like she hits your spears. It can be kind of frustrating and difficult, and maybe there's something that can maybe work. With that. I don't know. Yeah.
Nah, I get it though. Joan, yes. Well, I guess in due time we'll see how they balance it out.
Maybe in 6 months' time. I don't know. That's taking a while.
She's a fan of
6 months.
She gets knocked down. She gets back up again. You're never gonna.
Oh my gosh, Jeremy cheering some bits. There's more where that came from. If I admit that Jean is perfectly balanced and a perfect civ. She's so it's close because I do feel like the way I play into that with the fast castling. If you fast castle against her successfully, the pendulum swings hard on Joan. If you can beat her to castle, the problem is if she comes into your front base and you're trying not to fight her. I mean, well, she's a bully. And she belongs with Bully Bill.
Just kill her.
Bully Bill. I like that. I like that. He says,
just kill her as the knights do little circles around her.
Nah, he's trying to get the narrative. He wants people to fight her. He wants people to fight him. He's like, oh yeah, just try to kill her. Go ahead, come on. Yeah, come on.
Do it. I want you to do it. Come on, hit me. I want you to do it. Come on, do it.
She's right here. Just kill her. She's right in range. Come on, kill her. Bully Bill. I like that nickname, Bully Bill.
Hey, I do tower
Bully
actually
Bill.
shoes. I always tower my gold. Sometimes it just doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter once they get those knights to start going around.
Because you actually have to garrison.
Hey, I do.
You know?
I do. But when you're constantly in
Before
your
they're all dead.
the problem is when you're stuck inside your tower and they're doing little pinprick damage out of it, you're not getting the gold you need to age up. Like when you sit back and just garrison the entire time, that's the idle time. All they want is the idle time out of you. You know, that's the only response they're looking
pull
for.
them off the gold and make feudal age units. They usually don't cost gold.
Golems are superior, Ascalad. You can't get me off of this.
I mean, you don't need that much gold to age up.
You're telling I don't. That's true. I don't. That's true. That's true. But you're telling me, Ascalad, to get off of gold and play feudal and fight the French, fight Joan of Arc. That plays into her hand.
You have camels. They hard counter the knights.
I do have camels.
Desert Raiders are pretty good.
They have 5 melee armor. They don't care about Jenny doing some
pretty good
thing.
Maybe maybe
What
I'll
am I
start
doing
the
with Desert Raiders? I've got to go into like some sort of melee.
I mean, all joking aside, that's a great point actually, and I think I'm going to start incorporating that into my gameplay. Like genuinely, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. I've been battling with
Watch his win rate plummeted down all the way to 25%.
Let me just like completely like lose. It's Desert Raiders are an interesting unit. I feel like some people who play IU, it's like some people say that's the only way to play is go Desert Raiders, and I've had other guys tell me that they don't like them, and I feel like I'm on the fence with them. I go back and forth with Desert Raiders as a unit in general. All right, Caleb, are you ready for your moment to shine?
I'm so excited.
Order of the Dragon. Everyone calls them Order of the Dent. And I feel like I half understand the joke with that.
I'm okay with that.
I feel like I half understand that joke that they just dent people in. Like it's a weird. I've never heard that terminology before though.
So being dented is having like a dent in your head, your brain damaged, right? That's the thing. It's the Order of the Dent.
Should not laugh at that. Sorry.
That's I shouldn't have either. That was the way he pointed to his head as he did it was just really funny. I can see Beale like just cracking up in the corner.
We're gonna keep this a family-friendly podcast.
That's what it means. And so Order of the Dent is because they're bad, they're stupid, they don't take a lot of brain power to play. There's lots of plays on the word, and I'm okay with that because you know what? I don't want to have to try if I ever play this game. So,
I have noticed there's a build. There is a. I feel like I played a game on Quick Match with this. It was really funny. I played a Quick Match with Order of the Dragon and against a French player, just classic French. This dude decided to sit back, and I just like went 2 TCs and just had such a. He finally nothing makes an Order of the Dragon player happier than having about an equal number of units, and your opponent has about an equal number of military units, and just coming on and taking a head-on fight. Nothing makes you happier because your units are just so much superior. Having 2 this guy like started like getting angry in my chat afterwards and was like typing up like your civ is so balanced, lol, so this is so broken, and I was like, dude, like you played French and sat on your butt for 10 minutes and I just what do you want me to do? Like like no one would say at the beginning of the season that Order of the Dragon is overpowered. Just saying.
Listen. You know, Quick Match's other nickname is Dent Match. I mean, like really, like they're I think there's a lot of strategies a little bit mixed up. It's a very good it's like basically I think Quick Match is like practice mode now. I think it's like just the in-game practice mode because I don't think people are really giving the best strats in Quick Match. I've realized that. I felt a lot better when I played Quick Match, but really, the strategies I think people are just experimenting.
I have felt bad. I was playing just classic HRE just to relive the good old glory days, you know. On Four Lakes. That's where I actually figured out where the Four Lakes had that change with the sacred sites. But I was going against a Chinese player, and he didn't get up to feudal age until 7.5 minutes.
Regular China?
Yeah,
guys.
Regular
I'm
China.
not gonna lie.
Not have the DLC.
I forgot Quick Match is a thing, and I can just play that. I don't have to actually play ranked.
Yeah, it's way fun. It's a fun place.
I think that was my extra sheet. Quick Match is excellent now.
When you get a ton of downvotes for maps, so you can still avoid all the water maps and all the atrocious maps for the most part. You get like 15
I don't care
downvotes.
what I play because if it's Quick Match, I'll just play land anyway. So,
well, I mean, try doing it on Warring Islands.
I'm just gonna play land anyway.
Build a wonder. Oh man, my wife is happy somewhere.
Isolation. Go full isolation. Go full North Korea.
Anyways, I was going to tell you guys what the difference.
Full North Korea.
So Order of the Dragon, the starting wood has increased from 150 to 200, and that has opened up some Dark Age shenanigans where I have seen a barracks and a spearman come out. And
dude, that'd be a beefy spearman too.
It is a
beefy spearman. It's so fun.
It's a really good. It's a good play.
Speaking of quick match, I beat a Jeanne d'Arc player as Order of the Dragon yesterday with one spearman.
With one spearman.
To their gold mine, killed a bill, and they're like,
they're like, whatever, dude. I'm done.
The man. With these that's
broken civ. Broken civ.
Okay, so I'm recently doing the Q solo into team games, 3s and 4s, and my Order of the Dragon's pick rate and win rate is the highest of all of my civs.
Nice.
One of us.
One of us.
Like I have a 64% win rate on Dents in team games. Let's go, Dents.
They're not a bad civ. I think it's just in 1v1s they're kind of tough, especially against. They've been going against the top civs on rank. They've been going against like really good Roost players, really good Joan of Arc players, really good Ayubid players. And so I think they've been at a tough spot where they're just getting pressured really hard. I think this increase of wood, I think that Dark Age play.
I think the opening is actually going to be like, I think that's like going to be super good because then you're delaying your opponent to make up for your super expensive stuff, so it gives you time to kind of get something going. So like Dark Age opening into like a feudal kind of all in.
Plus, it's a spear that doesn't die to like 3 villagers.
Yeah,
it's like it's like they're. Well, I was looking. I think the feudal's like stronger than a standard Imperial spearman or something with stat wise.
They take more pop and they're slower to train and they're more expensive. But yeah, they are nuts, and it's really kind of opened up. I've seen a lot of high level players play this. I've seen 10-4-10 play it. Faye is a big champion of this play style.
Wait,
mentioning
Tim go as a high level player? What happened?
I know he's been flirting. He's not playing like high diamond. He can be called that. He says he's not a high player, but he's pretty up there. We saw the bell curve.
Be high diamond. Okay, that's not high level.
We saw the bell curve. Okay, guys, we know it is high level.
To some high diamond ears. Okay?
High diamond's pretty high for most people. But I'm just saying, like, it's not just people like in like plat playing. Like, there are some decent players doing this strat and making it work. And I think it goes all the way up to the top, or even like the top level players would do this opening where they put on a barracks, send out a spear in Dark Age as they age up with the mine work. Speaking of the mine work, the golden cuirass technology damage has been the reduction now activates at 30% health, and which is up from 20%, that's a buff.
Okay.
I kind of thought 20 was low when I first saw it. I was like, that feels like you're like almost dead anyway. I don't know how much health
they've got more health though.
It's really
I know, but even still,
tech is very good.
Oh no, I know the tech's good. 20 just felt like really low. And 30
should be having prelates with you, so it.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. You think it'd be smart to tower rush with OTD?
Oh yeah. That's the play. You send a spear in a village, and you just get on the wood a little bit and delay your age up, and you tower the gold against like anyone. It's really good.
Because their villages have more health, right?
Yeah, they do. And they build faster. Yeah, they do.
Wow. I hope that does not get too popular.
It's getting popular. I've been tempted to jump over to the dark side and try it out.
Oh, of course.
I could pick Dally and you would still come at me, okay?
Guys, I think it's going to happen. I think it's the dead side. Join the dead side. I was raised in the dent.
Molded by it. There you go.
Zushi's Legacy. Man, there's a lot of changes in this patch. For such a small patch, there's a lot of stuff. We got so much else to talk about too. We got a tier list. We should hurry this up and get to our tier list. We'll go quick in the tier list.
Oh yeah.
The Shaolin Monastery landmark. The monks now no longer are selected together without double clicking. Shaolin monks ranged armor has been reduced from 2 to 0. That's a good change, I think. Shaolin monks now display a buff indicator when activating the body of iron ability, which lets them negate range damage, I think. Technologies that Mount Lu Academy landmark are now probably marked as unique to civilization. The Zushi library landmark, I can't speak anymore today. The damage has been reduced from 35 to 28 for the Imperial Guard. The health decreased from 350 to 340. Melee armor increased from 6 to 10, and ranged armor decreased from 6 to 3. I think the Imperial Guard was like insane, right? The mounted Imperial Guard, it was nuts. And this is basically just a general
nerf. It was
nerf.
the best cavalry in the game, and it wasn't even close.
It wasn't even close. Now, at least there's a conversation to be had once again. I think the cataphracts of this and maybe the mounted samurai are all kind of floating over there. Mounted samurai with bannermen. It's a pretty choice, let me just say.
Yeah, it is.
That's our patch notes, essentially. Next patch is coming up late January, early February is when they're doing another minor patch. So somewhere on there, keep your eyes open for that. Whew, that took a long time just to get through that.
Oh, yeah.
Do we want to do our tier list and then we can take a break?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let me open my tier list. Let me share the screen here on the live.
Oh no!
There we go.
I'm part of the enemy faction now. I'm doing a tier list with Socerton.
Now it can't be wrong because it's gonna have your seal of approval. So I've got two. We're gonna do essentially two lists in one.
Or we just make him even more mad and don't take his opinion into account at all.
Oh gosh, you guys are. I can just sit back and let you guys do it, but I've got many opinions too. But I could sit back and let you guys do it.
I'm about to start mailing out the shiesty mask. You guys, I'll be using this today. You guys,
I think you guys really enjoy getting a rise out of me. I think you guys really enjoy just pushing the buttons.
I'm not gonna lie, it is enjoyable.
I can tell.
It all started with OP civ rants.
Oh, it's amazing.
All right, so I've got a list here.
10-minute mark of this podcast. You said the word inside, and then you saw Neville's eyes light up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have here. We're gonna do two lists in one. The first is gonna be just ranked 1v1 maps. Okay, and I've got it laid out to do that. And then after that, I've also included just all 10 of. I've included all the new maps in this as well. So we'll do ranked maps with the extra other new maps that have been added, just to get a feel where we put them on the ranked list that we have here. So we'll just start alphabetically. Mostly, with Canal starting alphabetically. Dry Arabia is D, not A, just Arabia. So we're gonna start with Canal.
I thought you meant D on the tier list. I was like, what?
No.
Wow. I
was just saying in alphabetical order because in the patch notes a couple of weeks ago they had it as Arabia to put it first. We're not doing that. We're just putting it as Dry Arabia. But anyways, Canal is our first one. I have this one. I have to say I can't put this one at S. I can't because I always have it downvoted on my ranked ladder. So what do you guys think? I know I don't like the hybrid maps that much.
I want to like it. How does that feel?
All right. Well, that means it's not
I'd like
D.
to put it between S and A. I think it opens up really interesting play.
Yeah, I think A.
I kind of agree with Bill. I think Canal's pretty cool. I think A. Minimum. Minimum.
I wouldn't. I'm like Socerton. I never want to play the map. I really like the map.
That's why I have a hard time putting it super high because if I don't want to play it, that's gotta factor in a little bit, right? But I don't want to just hate on water maps.
I mean,
maybe there's some cheeky things I can do with Order of the Dented here.
That's true. Asked, what were you feeling with this? A, B, S?
I would say A, but I might also be negatively biased because, if you're playing random and you random a civ that's pretty shite on hybrid maps. To be fair, though, it's a great Delhi map because it has more sacred sites. So Delhi is not actually bad here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will pop it in A then.
Always interesting because it does, honestly, like, to be good at this map, it increases, like, the APM threshold of, like, you need 40 more APM to really compete on this map with, like, all the scrappy Dark Age stuff. And
we put it in A tier for APM. Perfect.
My problem with that map is like there's clear favorites on civilizations here. Like you've got the English obviously with their short bows, and then with the long bows that take out all of the ships, no problem. And then you have Ottomans and Mongols, great aggression civs. Like there's favorites here. Delhi is also very good.
Even though it is a hybrid, which like Haskell said leans, I still think it's one of the best hybrids in existence. So.
Fair.
I will say a lot of these maps in the ranked 1v1 pool right now are just really good. Genuinely, I think they're very up there. Let's move on to the next one, Cliffside. I'm a big fan of this map. I'm just gonna say it right now. I like it a lot. I don't think I'd put it S tier. I'm thinking for myself, I'd put it personally in A. I'm open to suggestions. What you guys think?
I put this in S. I think this is one of my favorite new maps. honestly.
Okay, I'll put an S.
If other people agree, I don't know. But I enjoy, like, there's openness, but the way that the cliff spawn lead itself to you can wall. I don't know. I've had a lot of really interesting games on this map.
Yeah, it leads itself to being very interesting. I definitely agree. I've had a lot of fun. I like that the sheep spawn in places I expect them to be. That's a consideration for me, genuinely. Like I really like that.
I agree with you.
Ascalon has a counterpoint. I can see it on his face.
See it on his face. Oh yeah.
It's wallable. Like it's rather easily wallable. But other than that, I don't really have a lot of. I don't like the sheep spawn as it mostly spawns at the edges of the map, not more to the middle and on the hills. So yeah, that's some things that I need to get adjusted to probably, and not things that are necessarily bad.
Yeah, I don't feel I feel like you could toxically wall this one in, but it also there's a lot of gaps to try and wall in. You can't just you'd have to really be methodical about it. So I think I'm like
although
okay
with the
it.
new walling mechanic, it's easy.
On most of the 1v1 games I've casted or played, I was either the one walling or was the one running into walls.
Yeah, I've come across a little bit. I've had a number of games where there's just been no walls. So I've had a bit of both.
Beautiful.
I think it's a good map that has lots of ways to play it, and I like that. And it feels like a better Olympany in many ways. All right, Dry Arabia is going into S tier, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you almost can't rank it because it's just so vanilla. So
or D tier for Dry Arabia.
No,
it's so dry
because it's D and it's dry and fine.
Yeah. This is an interesting one. Rocky River.
River.
I don't hate this map.
Just pulled it up.
I really liked it.
I don't like it.
Patch. Now it's like, yeah.
We're thinking B tier.
I don't like it.
C tier.
It's hard. I think it's hard. Am I rating these maps on a tier list only taking into consideration the 13 maps or all the maps in the game? Because if I'm like taking into consideration every map that's ever been into a ranked pool, I would put Rocky River as A.
I think the fairest way to do it is against the ones we're ranking
here. Then I guess it's a B map compared to everything else in this patch. But
if it had a weighted grade, it'd be
to like every other map that's been in a ranked pool ever.
Yeah, I like that. If we had weighted grades, it would pop up to A if it was like a weighted grade. But it's a B in this group right now. It sits in B.
Yeah.
It's average. It's okay. It's especially with the post, with the change, with the fish. I'm not.
Yeah, I didn't care for it when I was looking at it, but that's just.
It's still better though than like 33% of like all the other maps that have been into ranked pool.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Altai's pretty high up there, but you know.
Oh my gosh.
What do we think about Golden Heights? Now, this is an interesting map because I have it as one of my downvotes right now because I just have played it so much after the last season. It's been in the ranked pool for so long that I've kind of gotten tired of it. So I've downvoted just to avoid it for a little bit, but it's still a really good map.
Minimum A. I think
it's a good. I think it's S tier for sure.
Yeah, honestly, I love Golden Heights.
Same problem as with Cannel. There's clear favorites on civs, but
most definitely.
Really good map.
Yeah.
We going A?
I think it's even less hybridy though. I mean, there are civs that can go there, but in general, people aren't. That's not like a has to thing. You have to make sure your opponent isn't. But
yeah.
In the inter-tier tiering, I guess it's below Cannel for me. But other than that, I'm agreeing with A.
Okay, I think A.
I don't know. I really like it.
Okay.
I think
I think I can go over Canal. I like Golden Heights. That's my bias opinion.
It's pretty lit.
Yeah, I don't have the fatigue that anybody else has. I think everybody else is like downvoting the map. I still have all the ranked maps open. But I just haven't played Golden Heights in forever.
Because everybody else is downvoting it.
Everyone else is tired of it. It has the fatigue.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm also very biased because my highest win rate is on Golden Heights.
Mine was last year too. Last season, I mean. It was Golden Heights.
This next map, I think this next map, you're gonna have to pry it from A or S from me. I love this map. I think Golden Pit is one of the best maps in the game, just hands down.
I like going pit.
I give it a high A.
I like going. Yeah, I give it an A too.
With no trade now, does it affect it?
Trade is lame.
Stockton
I don't
Fast Castle doesn't factor in trade.
I don't factor in trade.
In general, though, like the feel of the map,
I think the feel of the map. I just think it's really. I actually, without trade, I think it makes it even more interesting because it makes you, whoever has center map control it makes it more interesting in that regard. I think like it forces you.
I like it in that regard. I dislike it playing Byzantines because I ran Byzantines a few times on it, and I miss my neutral trade pose. I want to have my fun mercs.
I'm thinking it might not be a Byzantine problem. I think it might be just a Byzantine problem.
I do want to say, in team games, last night I played on Golden Pit and had a really good 4v4 team comp for this. Where we all went Jeanne d'Arc and built Chamber of Commerces at the corners of the map.
And
let me tell you, we were playing Jeanne d'Arc, archer only, and Jean could only go archers, and it really worked with Chamber of Commerce.
Excellent strategy.
9 minutes until they started building horse.
Flawless strat.
And it didn't really work, but
you get what you deserve.
I was also part of that compilation. It was not the best. It was good. It was
not the best.
For a minute there, I thought
at the corner.
I thought we were gonna change the whole meta of the game. I was like, wait a minute, did we just break this game?
The first
but then came out. Yeah, until they realized that.
Wait a minute.
Just
like,
make
we
this
built
keep going.
Expecting knights.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was a good
Can
time.
we do that after the podcast? Because we're just going to build siege towers and garrison every time a cavalry unit comes in.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. We
there it is. That's what we were missing.
One Megan L was going to end the entire. That was all you need to flip the whole.
Okay. Real talk though, like how fast is a siege tower? And if you put a bunch of traders in a siege tower and kept it safe back and forth, would that still get the trade?
No, you save your archers with it. You don't actually ship your traders around in the siege tower, which would be amazing, by the way.
I just imagine calling your username FedEx, like in game, have a Smurf account called FedEx, and you just like put all your traders in a siege tower and just send it across the map.
Nah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Dude, and then they make the FedEx truck skin for it.
That'd be so funny. Okay. Gorge. What do you think about Gorge? I really love this map. This is an S tier map for me. Yeah. And I love the 2v2s. Yeah. I love the multiplayer for this one.
I hate it on 2v2.
It is the single most interesting team player map, I think, in the game.
I hate that. I love it on single player. I do not like it on 2v2s. I only spawn on the top of my teammate.
Nevels, are you spawning in front?
Always. Every
Socerton, are you spawning in the back?
No, I usually spawn in like the middle, but I've been in both. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's such an interesting dynamic.
I spawn in front every single time. I've started not playing random in the team challenge just so I can play the dance, just so I have auto repair.
Okay. That makes sense.
I think it's a fun map. I think it's one of the most interesting. It gives you the most interesting dynamic, I think, in a multiplayer game, because no other map comes close to what that does. You know,
if I'm in the back or pocket, it's probably a pretty enjoyable map. But it
is really enjoyable in the back.
The brunt and everybody behind me wants to boom. They're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna boom." I'm like, "I bet you are gonna boom. I have fun. I just take it off."
I was watching a game. Who was playing? I feel like I was. Asklad, were you playing as Zushi in the back on one of those? On a game in Gorge by chance?
Probably not, but I don't know.
Okay, I saw someone I knew, and I was getting really upset. Maybe it was Tim. I saw someone, they were just booming in the back, and they went up to castle and refused to make units. I was like, no, sacrifice the front player. God. The 3 guys in the back need to build castle age units and fight, and they were just booming still, and I was so mad. Because I was like, it was so clear what you're supposed to do, and they just didn't do it. Anyways.
Sound like me. I'll be honest here.
It sounds like you or not?
It doesn't sound like me.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you. It might have been Tim. I think it might have been Tim. I might have to throw Tim under the bus on that one. I think it was Tim. Anyways.
It's saying it's shoes in the chat.
It's shoes. Oh, and you know what? It might have been shoes. I think that's right. I think it was shoes. Not to throw shoes under the bus there, but I think it was. That sounds right. That sounds right.
A lot of people under the bus.
I was like
today.
dying. I know. I've been throwing.
I don't know what's going on. What's got any sock?
I just like grappling and throwing people under buses. You know.
I don't even know who you are anymore.
You're breaking my heart.
Going down the path I can't follow. I'm sorry.
You've done that yourself.
I just looked it up. and siege towers are slower than traders.
Dang
but keep an eye out. If Greased Axles ever gets a buff, it will push siege towers.
Okay.
Please.
They're tiles per
Finally.
second. Above.
All right, we need to.
my APM. I didn't know.
Everybody needs to join hands. We need to summon Bitterland to buff Greased Axles.
Oh yeah, talk to the boys.
That would be
Talk to
so
boys in the
funny.
office.
That would be one of the most funniest things to ever see. That would be, oh gosh, I love it.
Just walls of. They would have a use. It's so good.
I'm in the industrial age. I had a train.
The amount of micro it would take to pop them in and out to get the thing to actually register would be so much, but it'd be so funny to see. I would love to see like Beastie like make a Smurf and try and do that.
Siege towers to conquer.
Oh man. Okay, Hidden Valley. I have to say, I cannot rank this above a B because of the sheep spawn. There are not enough sheep on this map.
This is permanently banned.
I would say C.
C tier.
I don't think
funny thing is,
Out of these maps, I'd put it C.
Yeah, for sure.
funny
Still
thing is-
better than the pit. Still better than Hideout, but
See, listen, I like the pit. I might like the pit more now.
I don't
This
like
might
the pit,
Made
but-
me appreciate the pit.
I like the pit
I
better.
think this is the one that has the trees are all blocking off the middle, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think this is a pretty low rated map with the changes to the trees, or you have to finish harvesting. If you could quick chop to the middle, I think it would be a more interesting.
It would at
thing.
least be interesting. It would still be toxic, but
Yeah, but it would at
Interesting,
least
man,
be.
yeah.
But now having to literally just chop your way in, it's just like no. This
I don't
is
think I've
like
ever seen a
having
game
something
go where you
barricaded
chop
with
in. I
walls
don't think
like
I've
that.
ever gotten to that center sacred site ever.
Well, you like can't.
Oh,
you
yeah,
can't
you can get
anymore.
rid of
because of the
lucky
changes.
Well, like I'm saying, I've never gotten to a point in long enough in the game where someone's gotten through. Like it just never
Yeah.
happens.
exactly.
maybe
My
I should
biggest
start
gripe is
playing
the
then it
Lost
begs the
Castle
question of
Candles
why.
every day.
My biggest gripe is still a sheep. I just hate not being able to have enough sheep. I feel like
Was
catching
like 2 or
5
3
sheep.
sheep spawn in there?
It feels like it. Yeah, I think that was
Yeah,
a
it's
bug,
not
but
good.
even with the change of the fix,
No
I feel like
sheep.
there's just not a lot of sheep on the map in general. There are less sheep on this map than other maps. If I scout out the map and I come home with 5 sheep, I am thrilled. Like
Shoot,
genuinely.
I'm happy with 5 sheep on that map. I come on with like 2. I'm like, hey guys, hope you're hungry.
What if now this is going back a little bit, but what if they made siege towers so you could go up cliffs with them, so you could like have it there and send the units up a cliff?
Oh, that'd be crazy.
That'd be kind of
Just
cool.
That's my favorite part about using Shinobi. So I can just teleport up cliffs.
We actually tried it. They can't
tested this out.
teleport
You can't
into
do it
the
on
Hidden
this
Valley.
one.
Yeah, we tried that. We tried it. We were curious.
yeah, this
All
map's
right, I'm happy.
useless.
I'm happy
Not
putting it in
gonna
C. I actually enjoy playing on it.
You can
but-
you can do it on Golden Heights. You can teleport up the cliff. On
Good
both
map.
spawns, that is.
That's a good map. This
All right.
map.
Yeah,
This
all
next
maps
one-
should be based off of Shinobi teleportation.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And that
Boom,
and
he
sheep
said
spawn.
I think Joan of Arc needs a blink ability.
That and sheep spawn. Very, very
There
heavy
you go.
criteria.
That'd be great. She's in trouble. She just poops her horse away. Just-
All right, him and Yama. Where are you putting this one? I
Him and your
like it.
mama.
I don't love it.
Him, Yamama.
I'm thinking
I don't know
B
this
or
one
A.
very well.
I'm thinking B is my initial thought. I
Probably
don't
B.
hate it though.
It's not bad.
Give it a high B, low A, and give it the just why didn't you port Cauldron? It seems like you wanted to do Cauldron.
Why
there.
didn't you port Cauldron?
But
Yeah,
you,
that's a good point. We have
you
Cauldron
should've
at home.
Stubborn.
Him and
Cauldron.
Mama.
Stubborn.
McDonald's
Culver
does
and
sound
home
kind
for
of
sure.
good. Thinking about it, I don't think about McDonald's. Caleb, you shouldn't have done that.
Get some McNuggets.
All I've had is like a Pop-Tart today to eat. That's not really good for you.
Well, it wouldn't
I
be an
know.
American podcast if we didn't have a 5-minute digression on fast foods.
Yeah. Yeah, boy. Give me my guns.
So putting it below Rocky River, I do not agree with.
No, put it higher than
Just-
high B, low A. Yeah.
Okay. Let me
Yeah,
fix
I
that.
would agree
You're
with that
right,
also.
You're right. Okay, so this is our ranked
Low
1v1 pool right now. Is looking at right now. I'm pretty happy. We got Cliffside, Dry Arabia, Gorge in S tier. In A, we've got Golden Pit, Golden Heights, and Canal. In B, we've got Himayama, Rocky River, and then C, Hidden Valley. Honestly, I gotta say, the 1v1 ranked pool right now is probably the best we have ever had.
It's really good.
Or
I like
worse.
it.
Now
Or
let's-
worse. Whoa.
Now
there
let's
we go.
add in the other new maps that have been added in. Thickets. I gotta
Two
admit,
Cs.
I don't like thickets. If it goes higher than a C, I'll be sad.
It's a pretty cool map. I would put it in B.
I don't mind it as long as
It's a fun map.
What does it do better than Baltic?
Nothing. It's got a sacred site in the middle.
Well, listen, I think Baltic is the A tier plus map. So
there's the small island in the middle, and the water is closer together. And does this one have trade posts in the corners? I don't.
Yes,
think
it does behind the bases.
It does.
Yeah. And then the island in the center, sometimes it spawn a boar, sheep.
Yeah, it always got. You can't move them.
There are 3 sheep in the middle. What in kind of garbage is this?
Get a transport ship on there. But how you? Yeah, that right there.
Because the strategy is to take a transport, go to the middle, build a dock on the middle island, put naval arrow slits, and then have that one villager take the sheep, like harvest them, drop the food off into the dark.
Yeah, I think DC fail at trying to do that.
Is that worth 750 food? Is that worth it?
No.
Putting the naval arrow slits on a
you
dock,
just deny your opponent completely all the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
that's
pretty
true.
good.
If you can execute it good, it's really good. But the execution sometimes
I don't like this map. I'll be honest. It's not my favorite. C tier, I'm okay with it. C tier it's not my favorite.
Well, if we're, I mean,
what's our unanimous?
Seems like we're between like A and C here, so I'd put it in B.
So maybe B, because I don't mind it.
C, you're saying C, but Askalad's like A.
Okay.
Neville's is A.
All right, I'll put it in B. You degenerates. Just kidding.
You degenerate.
Okay, the next one, I think we all know where this one's going.
Let us skip through that one, put it in D where it belongs, and carry on.
Turtle Ridge.
You know what's even worse? Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
But dude, I have a special hatred for this map.
Which one is this? Sorry.
Turtle Ridge.
Turtle Ridge, like, I was playing this team. I was playing 2v2.
What?
And yeah, I played on quick match. It's a quick match. It was terrible. But I was playing this map, and the enemy had the nerve to stonewall me in, and then just type to me the whole time. Hey, how's the goal doing in there, buddy? Like, just sit there and like talk junk to me the entire game while they stonewall me in.
So
like,
good though.
And like me, I try so hard to like be a mild-tempered player, but it got to the point I put my mouth aside. I'm just doing this. I'm like, all right, bro. Okay, I'm just typing the whole time. I ain't playing anymore. I'm just typing the whole time. It was bad.
This feels like
S tier.
Oh, for that reason?
No, this feels like a version of what's that one in AoE 2 where you start with walls? Arena. This kind of feels like it wants to be Arena almost.
Yeah,
I would take Arena walls is the.
I would take Arena over this.
This map is not for us, but I'm sure there are a lot of people who really like this map.
Yeah.
If you go on and see the most like downloaded maps, it is all like hard choke point maps.
Yeah.
There is the reason it's in the game is because there are people who don't play 1v1 ranked.
Yeah.
Who want to do like a 4-hour epic game like with their friends, and they want to be really defensive.
Yep. They actually mentioned something like this on the ESL today for Stormgate. One of the lead devs is on there talking about how they're doing their 3VE mode, where you can get a couple buddies and play versus AIs that kind of has changing attributes and stuff. And he said that it's because a large part, it's not like a minority, a large part of the RTS community really likes to get big armies and mow your enemy down and have these giant grand epic fights.
Yeah.
And those kind of maps play into that really hard.
Yep. We had a big discussion on this when we went through the maps a couple weeks ago. I think Beale and Caleb, you guys nailed it. It's just not for us. That's okay, but it still belongs in D because we're us and we're not those people.
But we're making the map list, so get over it.
Yep. Next one's interesting. I don't know how I feel about this one. African Waters.
I like this.
It's a good map.
I
give it A.
Really
I like African Waters. I like A too.
Do we think this is going to end up in the 1v1 ranked pool at some point? Because I think we will. I think it's going to pop in.
I think it will. I could see it in there.
I could see it popping in.
Play.
How close do you spawn?
You started usually right behind you, right?
Spawn if you have I don't think this screen size actually matters a lot. If your resolution is high enough, you just see the enemy town center and
it's like a screen. It's like a screen away.
You're like literally right across.
This is a great map for Japanese players. It's a great map.
Order of the Dented.
Well, you don't get the prelates to really help out with the water. HRE begun this map too.
Yeah. HRE, HRE is pretty good.
Yeah, there's a lot of more. Dude, Roos on this map, guys. Roos on this map.
Oh my gosh!
I think Roos is the key on this map.
I'm quitting out of this map right now.
About
I can't even
that
pretend
many
to think about
boar,
Roos.
that water. I mean, that Roos would kill on this map.
And Beale is just sitting there in the corner. Jenny.
Getting all that EXP, yeah. 300 EXP from Gaia units on the map before the nerf.
Yeah, we had this map in LEL, and Jenny was picked a lot.
Yeah, and she won a lot.
And she won a lot.
I think that particular game I casted, she actually lost. But
that's ironic. Next one up is
I think all 6-4.
He needs a buff.
Next one up is a map I actually didn't think I would like, but actually really, really enjoyed. I think it's A tier as well, if I had to say.
Fort's fairly cool. Yeah,
Forts. I love Forts.
I think it's a great map.
It's interesting.
You have so little food on your starting positions, it doesn't matter that it's like a fort.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
No, it's not for you. It's like a detriment to be in your fort.
Also, if you're Ottoman, you will hate this map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have called it a prison.
Called it prisons.
There you go.
Although it does make your like last TC much easier to defend in a landmark snipe, but I think your game's over at that point.
It's a fun map. I put it in A. If anyone wants to disagree, they can.
It's all impassable too, right? You can't like get into that water.
No, right. And there's no fish or anything in it either.
No fishing.
Yeah, no, I know. I was thinking of the transport.
One neutral trade post that's in between both of the forts, which is really interesting.
And it's funny that it's at least this spawn is it always like this one has like both of you kind of almost like what's the name of the map where you spawn on the same side?
Frisian Marshes?
Yeah, it's like Frisian Marshes on this spawn. Is it always like that?
It varies a lot. That's what I like about it.
Sometimes it's forward, sometimes it's side. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's one of
those.
Not
too bad.
I like that it has that variation. I think that's one of the things I wasn't expecting based off of the little image of it. But yeah, it spawns the spawns vary a lot, and I think that makes it really fascinating. It's a fun map.
I think this would be an interesting teams map.
It gets kind of hectic in teams.
Yeah, I played on teams. It's wild in teams. Just like
I believe it would be.
All right, next up, Glade, which we had a pretty good discussion about this map a couple weeks ago. I feel like I don't know what to do with this one because in team games, I think it's a great team game. I don't like it. I don't think I like it more if it wants a ton. But it spawns an interesting way. I think maybe C tier, maybe D tier. What do you guys think?
Oh, well,
C.
Yeah, I was gonna say nothing higher than B.
I was gonna
turtle closed map.
D. Yeah, let's put it in D with the turtle because that's kind of the same.
I'm tempted to put it in C. It's not nearly as turtly as Turtle Ridge.
It's
I like the pockets eco.
It's a low C.
I think low C. Yeah. I agree with that.
Low C. I wish chop through worked like it used to because there's such a thin line behind you and your opponent's base, and there are no trees on the border. So if you can chop, like you can run around the back of the map, but that's not really an option without chop through being a thing.
All right, and the next one, this next map is hilarious because if you gamboing and get any kind of units, your opponent just loses. It's really fun.
Of course.
Haywire is a delight to play. I gotta say, I was delighted to play on this map. The one time I did in quick match, it's never gonna see the light.
Delightful.
Deep for delightful. I think it's probably that's probably where it belongs. That's probably where it belongs. It is quite a funny one to play though.
It's a good gimmick map. I think it's really silly, and I'm glad it's in the game. Don't never play it in ranked. I can't wait till we run it for LEL for like 1 week.
Oh man,
as an experiment, but
only Haywire, only random, only Haywire,
only Haywire. That'd be fun.
This is a crazy map.
It's wild. It's so fun. It's
dude, the TC ranges like almost touch.
It's literally it really is within one screen.
You can like Mongol like TC push like you could in the past.
Oh man,
like my Diamond promo game. Yeah.
Jeez, that'd be funny. Yeah, I played a poor Delhi guy on this map on quick match, and I sent out a bunch of skirmishers. This was before the change, so I had a ton of skirmishers I sent over to his base. Sat on his gold. He tried sending horsemen, but I had some Bedouin swordsmen to take him down, and then I just castled up, and he never had gold. He just was dead. It was really really funny and kind of sad. I felt kind of guilty, but
Yeah,
only a
It
little
was
bit.
so funny. I gamba wink, guys. So funny, right?
I smashed my head on the keyboard and I won. Wow. All right, we got an ad coming in 40 seconds. I think that's our tier list. I think we take a break as well. I've got a video for our More Nights commercial. I got that tier list of the animales that my wife made.
Boss is gonna chew me out now, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna chew out.
Goodbye.
Actually, I actually got to mute everything as I do this, so no, I can't hear everything. But we'll be back in about 7 minutes or so. So you guys have a good ad break. Let me find where it's at. There it is. All right, it'll start in a couple seconds. It's a blank screen for now, but when it does, enjoy, and we'll be right back after this.
Wish people a happy ad break. I never did that before.
Oh yeah.
This is the Animals of Age of Empires 4 tier list according to an unranked player who has only 35 hours in the game, all of which are team games with Socerton, where I am a hindrance to him. Alright, so first we're going to start off with the villager. You might think this one is a little silly. However, as I said before, I am unranked, which means my villagers are basically animals. There's no direction, there's lots of idling, but hey, they help me get stuff pretty mid-tier. Also, they die a lot because I don't know how to garrison. Oh, I do know how to garrison, but I don't know how to ungarrison them back to what they're doing. So if I garrison them, then again, wild animals, they're just standing there. But then we have the boar, which I don't like. Come at me, or don't, because I don't like fighting, which is why I don't like the boar. Okay, then we have fish, which I've divided into 2 categories. We have our shore fish, and we have our deep sea fish, as I think they're called. The shore fish our villagers can get, so again, put them here with my wild animals. But then the deep sea fish, oh man, it's all about those deep sea fish, which you can get a boat to get, which you don't have to think about. And you just have to hope your opponent doesn't go for boats and attack your boats, because I have no idea how to defend your boats. I just know how to make fishing boats. The deer of the deer patch. I grew up in the mountains where deer are very commonplace. They're like pigeons, pretty much, or common pests. I don't know. They don't do anything, but hey, they're there and they'll steal all your food. These deer also look really skinny. The deer where I grew up, very fat. We do, however, have the majestical deer. Really cool. Don't know whether he's like a Patronus or Lord of the Mountain, but he looks super cool. I know that there was some gameplay and he's like gone now, but like, look at him. Beautiful, majestic. We have the horse. Here's my thing with horses. I never was a horse person. You know, this is probably it. You know when your parents have friends and their friends have kids? So like your parents' friends' kids, you're then forced to like be friends with? But growing up, the situation that I was in was my parents' friends' kids loved horses. Loved. In my mind, it was like they were obsessed with horses. Looking back at it, like they owned horses and they rode horses and they competed with horses. So it like makes sense that that's what they love. But like to me, it was like, oh, that is so overboard. So like I'd put it next to the deer, a little lower than the deer, but like not boar. Boar are awful. We have camels, which I've divided into two tiers. We have fast camels and gold camels. I don't know much about camels, but I'm going to say the fast camels probably are cooler than deer. I don't have horse gold on here, but I'd probably say camel gold. Gold camels are are B tier. Just like they're a little bit better than fast camels, but they're not as cool as that shorefish, if you know what I mean. Then we also have the Trojan giraffe, which the Trojan giraffe is just cool, right? It's not a Trojan horse, it's a Trojan giraffe. Come at me. I don't actually know what it's called, but all I picture is like this giraffe going around, and you know how giraffes' legs are kind of like wimpy? Trojan giraffe goes around and like kicks things with its wimpy legs. Elephants are cool. I wouldn't say they're as cool as like Lord of the Rings elephants. But yeah, elephants are cool. I'm always kind of terrified when one of those comes out. Then we have John Dark's horse, which again, not really a horse person, but I hear a lot of John Dark is annoying to fight against. So I guess it's cooler than a normal horse. I don't know if it's cooler than a fast camel. It might be cooler than a fast camel. Is it cooler than a gold camel though? I mean, gold camels have baskets on their hips. You know what? I'm gonna do it. John Dark's horse is cooler than a villager. All right, so now we've come to the knight, which we all know, proud partners here of Extra Sheep. We are big fans of knights. So obviously, it's not a B tier. It is S tier with our friends over at moreknights.com, www.moreknights.com. Love it. And of course, our sheep. Just kidding. They're the best of the best. So there we have it, folks, with our top tier sheep and knights from moreknights.com. Here is the Animals of Age of Empires 4 tier list according to an unranked player who only has 35 hours in the game, all of which are team games of which I am heavily carried by Socerton and am only a hindrance.
You're muted.
You're muted this whole time.
Yeah, Devils wasn't totally racing back to get back on time.
Of course not. Of course not.
There we go. I think
I thought
a bit of a mute there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So on the bolt action, Jackson, you're right. There was some board disrespect. Again, she doesn't know the game. She also forgot that there were cows in the game. She was. I told her that. She's like, "There's cows," and I was like, "Yeah, there's cows."
Oh.
Well, what was that? Oh.
That was me. I was watching her tier list while I was getting coffee. So you got back.
I really loved her. I loved the fish that she like put like the shoreline and the deep sea fish. I thought that was really.
She
funny.
put deep sea. She put deep sea in S tier.
They're pretty good.
That is the best. Okay, it's okay though. No, A is acceptable though.
The Khan's bird for one, and cows.
Yeah.
I think she was missing both of those. I'm a little sad not to see those in there. And she said she was missing other birds in general.
That was a good list though. I was watching.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I was a little quiet. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Okay, well, hopefully that's a bit louder now. I can bump myself up a little bit more actually. Let's go all the way, full send.
Oh, there we go.
We've got some Reddit posts to get to, and then we'll kind of just go into our extra sheeps and then call it a day. We've been going for 2.5 hours. Man, time. Yeah. Gosh. Let me see. Let's see. First Reddit post brought to you here. This is a funny one. Let me share my screen on this too. Pretty funny stuff. It says this game has been out for 2 years and nobody has noticed this. That the High Trade House, age 2 economic landmark, cost $1,200.
Oh, whoa! I didn't see that.
So I was gonna say, I think I've already said this earlier in the show, but I really respect what the devs have done with this game. But it's fun to kind of rib them for how bad the UI is sometimes, and things like this, man. It's like, come on, like we got to get someone to edit these things, please. Like,
yeah, they need to hire an editor.
They need to hire a copy editor, someone who's taking care of all that.
Tech tree. When was the last time anybody opened up the tech tree?
Because
I think the tech tree is very outdated. I think the tech tree is outdated. I've been looking at it more. I think it's a little outdated.
Can we just directly link to AoE4 World? Just have that
Right.
I know, right? Like just plug that in. Give those guys a big fat check.
Pay
They've
those
earned
guys
it.
some money and we're good.
Come on, Microsoft.
Yeah.
I know you've got the. Come on, Bill. I don't think it's Bill Gates anymore, but whoever's
Oh,
in charge of
Bill
Microsoft,
Gates.
I know you've got the pockets for this. Come on,
Gil Bates.
take my money.
Bill
Take my money.
Gates.
Yeah.
We lost Beale.
We lost Bill.
Oh,
Hello?
sorry, I got a visitor coming in here.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, okay, there
I
we go.
thought your chair like sunk or something.
I did. I was trying to get him to jump on my lap.
So more proof. I've got more proof. I got more proof that Joan is overpowered, and I present
Okay, there
to
we
you
go.
guys. I present.
Oh, there
we
he
needed more
is.
proof.
I present to you
Your baby.
Joan of Arc on a stone wall. Just saying. Also a cute dog. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The puppers.
Yeah, he supports Joan of Arc, so don't say anything bad about her. You're gonna hurt his feelings.
Look at her. She's so powerful. Look at her on a stone wall on a horse.
Wow.
On a horse.
Nerf. Nerf, please. Does she get all the Stonewall bonuses too?
I think she would. She's on the
Wow.
wall. Yeah. You can put
Absolutely
You can put Joan of Arc
Game-breaking.
on a horse on a wall. Like there's a.
So if you just build a wall from your base to their base with Jonah Arc ranged on it,
Ooh.
you
just
guys
win the
know like
game.
that song? Like there's
Game over.
a fly on the frog on the bump on the log and the like.
There's a Joan on a horse on a wall on the ground.
That's
It's
how
a
I feel.
siege unit, religious unit, ranged unit, mounted unit.
On a wall that belongs in the bottom of the sea. yeah, that's Joan of Arc is pretty nuts. That's all I'm gonna say. I thought that was a funny post. But next down the list, these are not really long discussions on these, but this is another one. This is actually okay. I was kind of leaning into the Joan of Arc hate. Apparently, I went through the top posts on the Reddit. So this is not
Imagine
me.
that.
This is the top posts on Reddit. Okay. I was like filtering through, trying to get top posts in the month that we haven't gone over, top posts this week. So a lot of these are coming from just Reddit. This is not me. This is Reddit. If I sound like Reddit, it's because I spend too much time online.
You're a camel boy.
It's because I don't listen to enough Beastie, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Here's another meme for you guys. It's two doges. You got the buff doge and the crying doge. One's Joan of Arc, the queen with a chess piece with the queen chess piece, and the king chess piece for the English. And it's like, I have all the power of all the pieces, even the knight, and I am useful for 4 minutes. GG's. The English king. It's like, help me. I can only move one space every move, and I'm about to make you lose. Honestly, though, can you really say it's wrong? Like Abbey of memes.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good one.
Still kind of a meme, right? Like,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, a little
It's
bit.
a good meme.
It's better than it was before, but it's still
It's a
not
meme
quite there.
factory.
what were you saying, Ashfad?
I say, have you ever tried playing feudal English with the Abbey, and then you just go triple rags and make only men at arms, and you just feudal rush?
Mhm.
I mean, that doesn't sound bad. That does sound kind of fun.
I won that game. It was
That's
so fun
cool.
to play.
This guy might be onto something.
My opponent raged at me so hard, and I quit.
I love when that happens. Yeah, when they start raging, it's like, dude, like, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
Oh, I dropped the white tower in his face too.
Oh, man.
So, yeah,
And
so
now we know why he's
this was okay, now it all makes sense now. The story's starting to unfold a little bit more.
There we go. Then the real reason comes out.
Okay, he was raging before I dropped the white tower, and then it just got better from there.
Oh, yeah.
I just couldn't not do it.
I love Abbey of memes in like English mirrors. You do it every now and then, catch your opponent off guard.
Yeah.
And it's they
I
sometimes
wish
don't know how to react.
I wish they named the king, too. I want to.
You want to have a random nice English name?
Yeah, you think there may be a variant civ of the king, like a variant civ of English, where the king is actually like a name, like maybe another hero unit civilization. with
More
the English
hero
variant?
units? I don't know.
Yes,
I don't
please.
know.
We
Beale
need Matsumu
would go
Somalian.
back to English, dude. He'd start playing English.
Like
King Henry
maybe
the Fifth? Yeah, sure, I'll play him.
Henry the Fifth. There we go.
This
My
next
God.
post is actually a really good one from Can't Stop Mashing from a day ago. It didn't get a ton. I think I got a good number of comments, but I really like this question. I want to pose it to everyone here. What's your fun condition? What do you enjoy the most playing this game? Online, offline, or even something specific during a match, a strategy you go for, etc. What is your fun condition? So we'll start with top right. We'll start with Caleb. What's your fun condition in AoE 4?
Right now, I think in general, I think that in order for me to like have fun on a game, I have to be challenged and have a reason to want to get past that challenge. So, for example, I don't do story-driven games at all. Like I know, God of War and stuff popular and people like them, but if the point of the game is walking through an interactive story, I just don't see a reason, because I just don't generally care about the story that much. And so the fun in these kind of games for me isn't necessarily the competition, but like even the campaigns and stuff. I'm getting faster. I'm getting better. I want to get through the next puzzle, the next, the next hurdle. And that's where a lot of the fun comes in general, and where this game kind of, I think, does a lot of that.
Good answer.
Squids don't care about stories. Thank you.
Squids don't care about stories.
Barman, my bro. We troll each other in Stormgate Discord.
That's funny. Askeladd, what's your fun condition in this game? Besides backseating me.
Beta access. I mean, no. I do like what Caleb said. Like the challenging aspect of a game is important to me. But that being said, I did play Planescape Torment and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Because
I was about to say Disco Elysium as well.
Disco
Elysium is just okay. There's a
but
challenging
those have like
aspect
puzzles and things to solve and stuff.
Die immediately, but
right?
It's so random because it's all dice rolls. Like,
yeah.
Beale,
but yeah, I'm a
CRPG
CRPG enjoyer, so yeah, I like story driven.
Me too. I'm the same way.
I don't not like story driven. I just need a reason to want to get through the story, and the story can't be that motivator for me personally.
It's got to have a fun gameplay loop on top of it.
Yeah, there has to be something for me to do, and
I'm gonna go back to Planescape Torment for this because the combat is just so bad in that game. It's such an afterthought. It's so bad, but I still enjoyed the game by forcing myself through the combat and cheesing the hell out of it.
I'm with Caleb for like 90 to 95% of video games. It's like you can do the story in a much better medium that's suited for stories. Like if it is like beat this level, get a story tidbit. Beat this level, get it. Like you can tell a story in a much more interesting way than that.
Yeah.
But there are like the 5% of story-based games that are either incorporating gameplay mechanics like into the story, which makes it interesting, or you just have something that's like a very well-written interactive piece of literature. And those are also very good. But that's not RTS.
No, it's not. What was that Beale said yesterday? Like, I am the lore or something?
I am the lore.
Yeah. It's about the lore of RTS. Like, I am the lore. Like, all my history.
It matters to some people. There's a whole community of people for like League of Legends that are like, oh my gosh, I play the champion because I like the lore, and oh my gosh, Jinx for Arcane, and you know what I mean. There's like people that are really attached to that, and that's okay. It's just not me.
Were there any of these people before Arcane was a thing?
Yes, there's like whole tidbits about people who are like big lore junkies, who play like exclusively normal games just to have fun, and they really like it. That's fine. I just I get my lore from Warhammer and audiobooks.
Warhammer. It is better to die for the Emperor than live for oneself.
I'm waiting for the first Dostoevsky RTS. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah, I know.
Beale, what's
so many
I think did I already ask Beale what your thing was? I think you just did, right?
No, not yet.
Okay, well, what's your fun condition?
My fun condition is the act of improving. I mean, I will be 100% honest. Winning is one motivator. That feels really good. Like there is when you're in an intense game like an RTS, when you're dedicating 30 minutes of like solid brain power to solving this one problem, and you're so deep and focused, and you come out as a winner. especially if you like can identify like, oh, I did this strategy and this is exactly how I won. That is such a big like dopamine rush, for sure. But besides like winning, you know, I like playing on ladder, but I also like being a part of the community is my fun condition. Being a part of Rising Empires and this podcast and the Griabara, I love little community games. I love playing games on weird maps with weird settings and just for the fun of it. There's so much to do, like, because you can have your like 1v1 like training to get better and better, but playing like random civs on a custom map that nobody's ever played before, and the creativity and like, okay, I just spawned here, how am I going to win this, is also like a fun condition for me. And I am going to plug the Rising Empires map contest real quick.
It's literally just stopped. Submission entry has been closed.
Submission entry stopped, but the judging has started. And I think there's like 20 to 25 maps.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be great.
And I would love to do like show matches with people on a bunch of the submissions, because I've taken a look at what people have made, and the fact that there's a map that based on whatever biome you use, it's either nighttime or daytime and has different gold and stone spawns. I don't know, creative stuff. I love seeing the creative side of the community as well.
Yeah. So Nevils, what's your fun condition?
Listen, I've said it plenty of times before. This game isn't fun. It's not meant to be fun. If you're having fun, you're losing. That's not what we're doing. No, this game's not meant for fun. This game, the better question for me is what satisfies me about this game, and that's victory, and victory only. I don't settle for nothing less, even though I lose a lot. So you ask me, do I have fun playing this game? I don't know. I don't think so. But guess what? I'm enjoying every moment. I'm satisfied every moment. But am I having fun? That's a strong word. This monitor, this camera right here, I'm gonna throw out the window the other day. So I don't know if that would consider that fun. But you know what? It's a great and satisfying and enjoyable thing every day. And I'm really trolling for the most part. The one thing I see about this game that really gets me is the anticipation. The dynamic of the game. Every time I queue up a ranked game, I have no idea how it's gonna go. Not even a clue. Like me, I'm saying person, if I win 2 games in a row, I almost don't want to play anymore because I'm like, dude, this next game's gonna be the one. Just get me up out of here. Because I don't know how the map's gonna spawn. I don't know what my opposition's gonna play. So if you ask me realistically, the fun part of the game is truly the generation of like dynamics of just how all the matchups, how basically the game can like, it's almost infinite amount of content because there's so many matchups, especially with 16 civs now, there's so many matchups and there's so many map generations and what civs, like literally like you had to like, when the new season started, season 6, it was like pressing like the factory reset button on the game. Like everyone was like, I don't know what do my hands do? Like people forgot, like it was literally like there's so many different civilizations, so many matchups, so many different map generations. So if you ask me to narrow it down, the dynamic gameplay is the most fun I have with on the game because every game's different in every way.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah. I was about to call you a liar when you said like winning was the other thing because you would read the play that 4v4 we all went Jean d'Arc ranged archers only.
I've grown so numb to losing. I'm just kidding. I've grown so numb to it.
I have not.
He was genuinely expecting to win that one. Like it's Jenny. Like how can you lose?
We were in a great position 9 minutes in until
for a minute there. I thought we were going to flip the game on its head, but then it didn't work out that well.
That's so funny. For me, I think it's gonna be this right here. I love those sheep. I joke. That's part of it. I do love gathering the sheep. I do love that noise. I do love that a lot. I love this podcast and love being able to be a part of the community. Kind of like what Beale was saying. I definitely agree. I think the gameplay loop is just fun. It's just fun for me to like queue up units to take a fight. I love when you take a fight and go, I think I win this. And then to see that happen, I love being able to make those calculations and then guess right, or like to, I don't know, things like that make me really fun when you like, you kind of like what Beale was saying too, like you have a strategy in mind and you want to execute it and it works. Like I love like catching like my opponent when he's trying to do something, or like I love the back and forth that a game can have. I do think that competitive part is really fun. For myself, I am pretty competitive, but I don't mind losing either, as long as I don't lose too many times and it's not terrible. Like,
say, okay, let's go. Fire stream.
Yeah. I don't
because
really.
We're all talking about having fun. Someone go through and like just clip
all
of
my.
us.
I know.
I'm not having fun.
I mean, there's something to what Sir Neville said, right?
Now.
Just raging.
I will say in stream right now, like, man, I don't know if I'm having fun a lot right now, but I definitely really do. I love to win this game. I love to win. There is kind of a rush that comes, but moreover, like I think about like after winning, it kind of come down a little bit. But the real fun part is when I think it's why I like fast casual. I like when I have tempo. I like when I feel like I have tempo in the game. Like I know what I'm doing. It's churning. It's going. I'm having a fun time. I'm gathering the sheep. Like that's why I think sheep is such a big thing for me. Like it starts with the sheep. Like getting those is like that's my tempo. Like I've got my fail safe now after my berries run out. Like just kind of do those little things kind of just click. And I think between the just growing as a player and getting better and challenging myself, I really think this game's just fun. That's my fun condition. But if I ever want to be silly, I'll just say the sheep. I love the sheep. The bells. It's the sound design.
It's good for branding.
I have a good friend, a good streamer named Arios, and he watches my streams. He's a lot bigger of a streamer than I am, but I'll watch his streams a lot, and he watches mine. And he's been thinking about jumping in and playing some games, and I'm hoping he will one day. But we were just chatting just the other day, and he was like, yeah, like I really love the sounds of the game. Like the game has such good audio. It's so satisfying just to listen to it. And I think, I mean, the bells of the sheep, like I love that sound. I love the sounds of the game. It's just so good. This is a great discussion question from Can't Stop Mashing from a day ago on Reddit. We've got a couple more Reddit posts to get through.
Yeah. Sorry, another tangent. Yeah. I know we're gonna stretch this to like 4 hours, but I went through like the Reddit posts that you have queued up, and nobody's talking about the fact that the active player base is basically as high as it was a month after launch. Like it's the highest it's been in 2 years, right after this expansion release. And according to AOE4 World, there are more multiplayer games played than even there were at launch, like on a daily basis.
That's wild. Yeah,
just throwing that out there.
No, that's actually really good.
The game's dead, guys.
What again? How often can it die?
Yeah, no, for real. Yeah. It's I wonder, and I don't want to bring up and talk about AoE 2 that much, but all those guys who wrote this game off, I wonder, they probably don't give a crap, frankly, but you gotta just kind of think like, man, like this game's gonna outlast AoE 2. It's just a matter of it's just going to at this point, right? Like AoE 2 is going to eventually die off. It's gonna stay alive for a long time, but like the popularity, I think the pendulum has officially shifted. I think this game is about to be more popular. I really do. And it's because the devs are putting a lot of
take.
That's a hot take. I like that. I love that energy.
Bad guys now.
But Sock, dude, you need the shiesty mad Sock. Let's go, dude. Let's go.
I think this game is going. I think I don't know. I don't necessarily think that that might not be true right this minute. But in the months and years coming ahead, this game has built some seriously good momentum. If they continue to keep doing what they've been doing with this game, I see no reason why it's going to stop. This game is better, like almost better now than it was at launch. I mean, as far as like viewership and playership, it's gone back to that. Like, and the game itself is better than it was at launch, like hands down. But like as far as player base, I mean, we're getting there, and stuff like this is really good. Like, I don't know, this game is
Finals had over 8,000 viewers.
Yeah,
9,000 if you include YouTube.
Yeah. It was almost at 10K if you include YouTube, yes. And then maybe individual people streaming it too. Listen, boys, don't want to bring the shiesty mask out.
Miracle Rennie.
Listen, you don't want me to get the shiesty mask out because I'll come at AoE 2 all day. Listen, they praying on the downfall so heavy, but they just can't. It's rough. All the pros stay over there because they know they don't want to get work over here. They know it.
I was going to say, they are two different games. And one of the reasons why... and it comes down to like video games in 2020 versus video games in 2000. The fact that AoE 4 is an online only game, basically, and if AoE 4 servers shut down, there's no more AoE 4, but AoE 2 will always have Voobly, like to continue it on, and like unofficial patches to like ROMs that you can download. I do wish. I don't know. There's no way Microsoft will allow a Voobly for AoE 4.
For one, it's not needed right now, but maybe in the distant future.
It's not needed now, yeah.
Yeah,
it's not needed now.
That is something to think about when this game's life ends. Well, when this game's life cycle ends,
like 10 to 20 years in the future.
Yeah, in 20 years, I expect there'll be an Age of 5 at that point. We'll hopefully have moved on. But I'm okay with that too. I mean, I'm okay with it.
We're gonna be the bitter people hissing and jeering on Reddit about how AoE 4 is so much better.
I don't want to be, and I think I don't know that we will be. I think when that comes, because everyone's talking about what is it, Stargate or
Stormgate?
Right? Stormgate?
Dare you?
Stormgate. Sorry. Hey. Everyone's talking about how that's.
Caleb,
I will say, Sir Neville's is gonna like this. I think because the Doomers are already coming out. I saw a post on Reddit somewhere where the Doomer was already posting saying like, "Is this game gonna like? Are we worried about the player base getting like robbed away by Stormgate? Like, I think it might be a problem." And I was like, "Oh man, it's where Sir Neville's at. Like, he's gonna like, lose it on this guy." Like,
this mask is really starting to. I'm about to take this hat off and put this mask on and go away.
Even in this show today, I think Caleb has said, or someone has said that it just feels like a retool of StarCraft. Like it feels very similar to StarCraft.
The big problem is if it is a retool of StarCraft and is very similar to StarCraft 2, and it does have like developers that are really interested in balance and tweaking and promoting and tournaments, that the AoE 4 like pro scene is a lot of StarCraft 2 X players.
Oh yeah,
that's my.
It is
pretty much all. Yeah, pretty much all.
If Stormgate is really, really good, I do expect to see that we do lose a good chunk of the pro player base over there, just because it is two different types of RTS. I prefer the 4 resources, the slower pace game that AoE 4 offers, the more macro than individual micro fights that AoE 4 has. But there are people that were just like, StarCraft's 2 dying. I'll just make my name in AoE 4 for now as a career mode.
Or people who weren't ever that great at StarCraft, who were good but not like pro level good, hopped in. I mean, that's well known, right? That's well known. I mean, they'll make the jump. I'm sure there'll be people who do that, and then that'll leave. I mean, there'll always be a vacuum for stuff like that. I'm okay with it. You know, I think the games are different enough, and I think the genres are different enough. The fact that this is not a space game, this is a medieval game, that alone is going to separate your user base. And I don't. For the longest time, StarCraft was the go-to RTS, and now. This I feel like AoE 4 is now the go-to RTS. Genuinely, this new game might pull from that, but I don't think Microsoft wouldn't make an Age 5 in the future either to keep up with things. I feel like that's, despite the really long gap we had between Age 3 and Age 4, I think it won't be as long of a gap between 4 and 5. I really don't think it'll be that long.
I don't know. I feel like I think it's gonna be a minute.
It'll be a minute. It'll be a minute, but it won't be as long of a gap between 3 and 4 as I think the future will have. For 4
we have 3. It was like what, a 15-year gap?
Yeah, it's not going to be 15. It's not going to be 15 years. Whether that's 10 years or 7 years, I don't know. But that's still a good amount of time. But
I think it completely depends on the success of Stormgate reviving people's love for RTS.
Yeah,
this game could have, but didn't do that partially because of the rough launch, and partially because of it didn't do anything inventive in the monetary, and it didn't do anything inventive necessarily even in the game plan stuff for accessibility. And those are 2 things the Stormgate's working on. It's going to be free to play out the gate with other monetization options, and it's going to have a player versus AI, PvE, whatever you want to call it, content focused, and it will be, I think, a huge decider in if the RTS genre as a whole is kind of brought back into the light and kind of, competing with shooters and MOBAs and stuff. And I think if that happens, AoE 5 will then work well, because then there will be a larger pool of people for RTSs. That's my.
I will say that the success of this patch is good, though. I mean, not that this game obviously can't, can't be the enzyme that brings everyone back to RTS at this point, but at the same time, that doesn't mean it can't almost do that still too. I think this game is definitely showing that there is a desire, or like at least a hunger. It might be the right, maybe not be the right word for it, but like a hunger
as this
for
game
this
gets
kind of
better,
game.
you see more people wanting to come to it, and that kind of is a promising
for a game. I mean, a game
yeah.
that has. I mean, I look at like what's happening with Cyberpunk right now, right? Like I feel like that game's usership. I mean, they had a terrible launch. A couple years later, it's back on the map, right? So
it's like the standard for RPGs now.
Yeah.
Like now it really did make a resurgence. So, well, speaking of Stormgate,
a lot of work in that.
They put a lot of work. I'll bet you playing again as my little cognitive unload of AOE, playing a little bit of Cyberpunk, and it's good. It's a good time now. It's overhauled. It's a good game. But my opinion on Stormgate, like I said, I'm not going to act like I'm not going to get on camera. I was talking about off camera. I'm like, oh, Stormgate looks pretty good. And I get on camera. I'm like, this game is rough. But no, Stormgate looks good. And what I'm hoping, like, my most optimistic and my most, like, just, like, very, like, friendly, like optimistic point of view is that hopefully Stormgate can, like, have a revival to the RTS genre as a whole to where people can branch out from there. That's what because Stormgate is kind of like the main scene, like it's kind of like
it's the gateway drug,
the gateway, and then people realize like, oh, okay, Age of Empires 4, okay, this is pretty like almost like it's almost like
my style.
Yeah, it's like Call of Duty, and then it's like branching off to Battlefield or like Rainbow Six Siege. Like you branch off from there because RTS as a whole is trying to make a comeback. Like I feel like RTS as a whole, like RTS is kind of I would argue that it kind of started the esports scene as like
yeah.
And a lot of people like it birthed it literally is that a word birth it gave birth to literally MOBAs like through Warcraft, Dota and Warcraft, Warcraft, all that. So like for the most part, you'll hope that it branches out the RTS scene as a whole, which is a hard scene to get into because I heard somebody say I think I posted it. Somebody said the reason why RTS is not as big as it is because people are just too good. Like it's just a really it's a very
skill
hard
floor is very high
barrier to entry. Like the skill gap is insane. Like literally from a new player to players that's been like in the game, it's very hard to stick with it because it becomes a little demoralizing after a while. After just losing over and over again, you're like, I'm never been good at this game. What's the point? But hopefully with Stormgate, whatever it releases fully. That it being free to play, it kind of breaks that mold and people go to RTS.
The good of the game.
Yeah, hopefully breaks that mold and then some people, maybe we could share the wealth. I hope the proceeds and damage too heavy because a lot of guys is like just like the AoE 2 players that tried AoE 4, they start realizing that. Here's
the thing though, Nevels, I think with that, with the pro scene kind of evening out, I think that leaves more options open. I'm sure Beastie was thrilled when another RTS hit on the market. Right? Like,
so you mean he's like a monopoly?
He gets to be. I mean, would you rather be like? You get to move to a different place and be the king there. If you can't make it here, maybe you can make it there. Maybe vice versa. I think it will pull some people. But we saw like with Company of Heroes, like a lot of people jumped ship and went onto that one for a second, and then realized that the ship had a bunch of holes and that it was sinking faster than they could bail, and everyone came slinking back into AoE 4, right? Not that I think that'll happen with Stormgate, but like I'm sure some people will leave. But even when people were playing Company Heroes, a lot of people are still playing AoE 4.
Listen,
we will be the big streamers here.
Toxic prediction of they'll try it out,
and they'll come back.
And then I'm pretty sure they're gonna eventually come back because I think it's gonna be flooded with people. I think a lot of the StarCraft community. Because what I'm hearing is not StarCraft 3. Like people it really is it's slower than StarCraft. It's almost in between like AoE and StarCraft. Like kind of like that nice middle, and it's a little bit more accessible to casual players, the PvE mode and everything. Mm-hmm. But I really do believe that like the real test. I think the biggest challenge of RTS is to see the longevity, see the test of time, see how long it lasts, see how involved esports is with it. Like it's going to be it's going to really check AoE's temperature 2 and 4 as a whole. But I think at the end, people are going to go what they prefer. And as long as there's some type of active pro scene AoE 4, I think it'll be fine. But StarCraft's going to be a big one.
Yeah. Well, and to that end too, as far as longevity goes, this patch, the Sultan Sen being the biggest selling expansion ever. I mean, that's a great sign for the game, and for the genre, essentially. That's just good for everyone.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
All right, so I've got a couple more posts to go through here. This one's from Leo Pleurodon. I love when this guy posts stuff. He always has some pretty interesting things. I've this is like a third or fourth post I've pulled from his that I've grabbed. This is interesting. Varangian guards can have higher torch DPS than fire lancers with teardrop shields and trapezites and berserk all in effect.
Wait, whoa.
So you're gonna have to explain to me what teardrop shield.
It's a
special tech in Castle.
Okay.
Which does, I don't know, it does a lot of things. It gives Cataphracts extra armor. I know that, but other than that.
Huh. I don't see this unit a lot though. I don't see this unit a lot.
No, you don't. But it's just a fun fact. It's like one of the fun facts. Like Varangian guards have more torch damage than a fire lancer when you get those things. 32 torch damage.
So my first comment is says Byzantine nerf incoming.
Actually, the Varangian guard by 15%. It's actually.
That's
all
funny.
right. I did not know that.
So yeah, this is a fun fact of the day.
I don't think I see this unit of it. This unit looks good.
It's I don't know. I'm sorry, wrong screen.
Do they have capes? I like the way they visually look. I don't see them enough though. I'm gonna look at them real quick while we continue our recording.
Yeah, they're pretty funny.
So yeah.
Okay, another
one extra melee armor compared to normal melee armors. It's really good.
Nerf Byzantines.
On this next one, I mean, there's just a lot of Joan of Arc OP, but here's another one. This is Joan of Arc for your viewing pleasure, taking on a White Tower solo.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to watch this nightmare.
Winning. Yeah, now obviously there's no other units here to take her down, but she does beat, as an Imperial Age Joan of Arc, she does beat a White Tower solo.
That's ridiculous.
In case you're wondering, there is video graphic proof. We won't watch the whole thing, but yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that disgusting?
I can feel the balance from here.
Feel balance from here.
So yep, she can take down a White Tower. My gambling certainly my gambling can't do that. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, dude, he's taking shots at. Oh, look at that, dude. What's up? Hey, what's up with this side? We taking some shots at Bill Civ, man. What's going on, dude?
It's just what was on the freaking disc, the Reddit. I just am pulling.
There's been at least 3 Reddit posts in here. You've been taking shots at Bill Civ.
I know.
What's going on,
well, it's because they nerfed the gambling.
I mean, in Jenny's defense,
they usually make some other unit. Yeah, you got to be level 3. Also, usually there are units that are fighting under the White Tower.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
There were units fighting under the White Tower. Jenny summons.
My gambling couldn't do that. Just saying.
Well, yeah, because you see it says 48 minutes at the top.
Yeah,
so
you
get the White Tower
down.
You would have been Imperial at like what, 12 minutes? I don't know. I don't know how you bits do.
No, you're thinking Jushi's. You're thinking Jushi's Legacy. All right, last Reddit post, and we can wrap up with our extra sheeps here in a second. This one it's posted, and I love this. A Tale of Two Civilizations. Byzantines win rate 38% for this player. Zushi's Legacy, the win rate 71% for this player. I think it's really funny.
The Tale of Two Civs.
I think more importantly, my takeaway from this.
Is that Tim's? No, Tim doesn't play Zushi.
Yeah, Tim doesn't.
No.
Thank goodness. Could you imagine? That'd be the scandal of the year. I will say, I think this is interesting because I don't think this is and people are going to look at this and say, oh, it's because Byzantines suck and Zushi's is really good. I don't feel like that's the case. I think what's interesting about this is that it really, people play civs and have different strengths, right? I can't play the same civs as Sir Neville's and have the same win rate. I'm not going to play the same civs as Askeladd or Beale or, you, Caleb. Like, everyone's going to have different civs that just naturally jive with them better. For me, I want to make Japanese work.
We play the same civ sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
When the dice decide that I play that civ.
But my win rates aren't going to be the civs we're naturally good at are going to vary by player to player, I think. And I think it's interesting to see like how drastically that can change. I mean, 38 to 71, that's a big change. And they each have 40 something games with both. I mean, 49 games with Byzantines, 45 with Zushi's. That's nuts. So,
I mean, it also depends. Like that dude, how many China games did he play?
His pick rate is lower. But that is huge, guys.
Because if he's practiced a lot of China, then
that's true.
I would expect that because I'm looking at my own. I'm looking at my own win rates. I've got a 60% win rate as French and 65 now with Jean.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had a really good season with
French. Yeah.
I had a good season with Abbasid, and now here I am with a Ubids. Ergo, I felt really comfortable to swap over, and that's why I did. Japanese, I'm struggling with. I'm trying to work it out and figure out, but it's a different civ, and so I'm having a harder time with it. Yeah, it's just interesting, and not that I don't really have a point to this per se. Other than that, it's just really interesting how different players will gravitate to certain civs and just play styles, and we're all very different, and it's fun that we have a game that's asymmetric enough that we can do this, right? That we can each have different things that we're really good at, and a type of different play styles too. I don't know, it's fun.
I was gonna jump over to AOV4 World and then mauled about how I don't have 65% win rate on any civ. Turns out I have 75% on Ottomans.
On Ottomans? Oh, nice.
Oh,
hey.
Okay. Look at that. See,
Ottomans are pretty good, guys.
Ottomans are pretty good. They're pretty good. And it turns out you might need to start manning those guys again if you have that high of a win rate.
You know what? I'm starting to see a pattern here. Every winning civ Bill loves to play. That's crazy. Ottomans, now Joan of Arc. Here we go.
The lowest rating, the lowest winning.
When you play French?
Season 2.
Season 2. Were they that low in season 2?
No, they were crazy good in season 2.
Wait a minute. Oh, I'm starting to get exposed here.
No, they were crazy good.
For the second TC, got the 50 extra stone requirement.
No, I'm saying I had to spread the love. I was coming at Sock too heavy. I didn't come at Bill now. I was coming. I had to spread the love.
One of these days, Neville's, we're all going to gang up on you.
Never, my man of honor.
Oh, he's so lovable.
I'm flat one. Never get past this.
I'd say you have rose-tinted glasses on, but I can definitely tell there's some pink going on over there.
Like, coming from the guy with the lowest rank of everybody here, talking the most. Like, okay, you got me. All right, I'm out of here. I'll see my way out.
All right, normally we would take a break right here, but I will just do our announcements right now for anyone listening. Right now, normally I have the viewers all alone for this part, but I'll just say we are taking a break for the rest of the year. We will not be back next episode where we normally pops up. So we're going to have a 4-week gap. It's every 2 weeks, right? We're not going to have an episode next week. We will be spending time with our families for Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever we want to celebrate. I think we all celebrate Christmas in this particular group right here. But for anyone, we wish everyone a very happy holidays. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. Hope everyone's doing good. We will be back in January. So I haven't actually checked the date. Let me take a look at that real quick. The date for that will be... because next episode normally would air on the... Wait.
That would be the 29th?
The 31st would be the...
29th the next episode? No, yep, 31st, yep. That'd be New Year's Eve. That's the next one?
Yeah.
It would have been.
It'd be New Year. It would have been New Year's.
It would have been. So either the 7th or the 14th, depending on how you want to do it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll figure it out. Now I got to think about that because normally it's every 2 weeks.
It'll be the
9th. It'll be the 9th. The next episode will go live on January the 9th.
Bring the audience with us, breaking the fourth wall. See all the details worked out right here live.
Yep. So it'll be the 9th. Will be our next episode. We're gonna take a solid 2 weeks off. I think. Yeah. Right.
No, it'd be we'd record on the 14th.
Oh yeah, we're recording on the 14th. So we'll be back on the 16th. Yeah, we'll be back on the 16th, mid-January. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my brain. It's every other 2 weeks thing is really wigging me out. But yeah, we'll be back on the 16th of January. Is when we'll do our next. So we're gonna have a sizable full-on month gap. So that's why we're doing this live. This big special Christmas episode. But yeah. So that's our news. Any other news I should remember, guys? I'm gonna show you. I was showing you guys my my sweater.
Oh, let's see this.
Yeah. It's got a gingerbread man. He's missing his leg. It says "Oh snap."
Nice.
So it's a real knee slapper, you know. Okay, let's get to our extra sheet.
Ascalon and Beale have to show each half of their Santa belly, right? That's.
Oh, please don't.
Okay. If you insist. Wait, can we do that here? No, I think
no. Twitch reverted. Twitch reverted that back again. So.
Because I remember Credo streaming without his top like 500 times in a row. Still not bad, and it's good that way.
All right, then.
It's good that way.
Good that way. We will start with Ascalad. Do you have an extra sheet to share with the group today?
Oh,
Did you leave it at home? Can you ask your mommy real quick? Maybe we can call her and see if she can bring it in for show and tell.
Yeah, sorry. My mommy doesn't allow me the extra sheep yet. Okay, just for that, let me brainstorm real quick. No, actually, I don't necessarily have an extra sheep because I wasn't playing a whole lot, and I didn't really. I dropped all these hints about can I be on the show? Are there any guests?
Kind of wander into the studio. Like
that's actually like this. It's actually like this bum, this drug addict out back near the dumpsters. We just brought him in to warm him up a little bit. We feel kind of guilty.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel.
That's fine. That's fine. Your extra sheep should be. I
played a beautiful team game with Order of the Dance. I had 30 Landsknecht in the middle of the map under my keep. And there were 2 Japanese players running in with mass infantry with like over 100 units. It was beautiful.
Wow.
Their military graphs look like so.
It's like plummet straight drop. Man, that's
there's just a flat line down.
Order of the Dragon Landsknechts are just something else. Like that, they are crazy good. Man.
Yeah, I don't see that much on the ladder.
I try to make a point to they're expensive, but I try to make a point to make a couple of them because they just have that extra health. It's crazy. Alrighty. Go ahead. You had something? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say in 1v1 you probably don't want to leave feudal as the dance most of the time because
the dance.
Yeah, if you stop applying pressure to your opponent, then you probably die.
Yeah. Well, and you get men at arms already, so what else do you want? Like you
already get those almost Castle Age men at arms, so you're pretty good.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. If you do go castle though, the Landsknechts are something else.
They're very fun.
They're very fun. Sir Neville, what's your extra sheep? Oh, do you have one more?
Can you say Sonhau for me?
Sonhau? What?
It's the Landsknecht special tech where they apply the bleed.
Oh,
Sonhau?
It's so fun.
Yeah, where you're bleeding your opponent's guy. Yeah, they're a fun unit.
You could translate it to Anger Smash, probably.
Anger Smash. I love it. I love it.
Am I up though? Okay.
Yeah. You're up.
I kind of forgot to actually make one. I don't think I learned too much, but one thing I will say when I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute. Anybody, we keep talking about, everything about AoE's future is like, well, what about Stormgate and AoE 2 and the pro scene going to leave? I'm going to keep it optimistic, okay? Because all that naysay, all the negativity that anybody might spray out there, I don't want to hear it, okay? Because we got to stay firm on this boat. This is the first expansion of AoE 4. This is the very first. Think about it. We think about it really.
Isn't it the second? Because we Ottomans and Malians be...
Yeah, I mean is there anything DLC and expansion? Like I feel like that was like downloadable content, free downloadable. Sorry, the game was kind of broke when it launched.
Asklad says tomato. Some other word.
but what I'm saying is that right here is that by the time all these AoE 4 killers come out, AoE 4 is going to be even better. Think about it. We weren't even expecting these variant civilizations. We still got variant civilization in the future. There's so many civilizations they still haven't even. We still got Vikings, some type of Dane civilization on the rise here that hasn't been announced. We still got some type of Meso civilization. All these other empires, Spanish empires. We got Poles. All these. This is the first AoE 4 expansion. And I'm saying right now, I think the future is bright. And the more variants, which are going to probably be more variants in the future to kind of fill it up a little bit, with the variants and new civilizations being added to the game, I think by the time that point reaches, I'm not worried about no Stormgate. I'm not worried about no AoE 2. This game will prevail as the standard of RTS. I mean, I just don't. I really have faith in this game. I've been on this mountain. No matter what, I think this game, like 2 years from now, what do you think AoE 4 is going to be?
At least where it's at now. Honestly,
at least I think like the days of really wondering if this game's going to have a life or not are kind of they're dying out slowly. Because there's a point in time we didn't know what the future of this game was going to be. We didn't know.
Rough summer.
It was this year. It was this spring.
Yeah, exactly. And that already feels so far ago. It feels so far now. It feels like whoa. Okay, because like we had 2 avenues they could have went. They could have went the avenue of, stagnant community, going down, players dropping every. No, it charted on Steam records for the DLC, the biggest DLC of AoE, period. You know what I'm saying? With all this content, the devs see that. They see these numbers cranking. They see this, and the next one's gonna go harder. Next one's gonna go harder, I believe. Maps, civs, everything. So really, when I say the future of AoE4 is going to be bright, and Stormgate's gonna have all the other competition in the RTS community. Will have their communities also, but I really truly believe that this is going to be a staple. Eventually, like you said, Asclad, I believe, not Asclad, excuse me, Socerton. I do, like you made a bold statement. How you doing, Asclad? You made a bold statement saying that this will be the standard in the best AoE from this point forward. And I agree. I will, if it dies, I'll die on that train with you, Socerton. I believe that this is the grand standard of the AoE franchise at least. You know what I'm saying? I think AoE 2 is going to have its nice, tight-knit community. Good for them. They can go ahead. Listen, if you want to, you know what I'm saying, make calls on flip phones every day, that's cool. But we're going to go, like, I prefer upgrading, and I like touchscreing phones. They probably
I'm still playing Techno Bowl on my phone, though, to be fair.
Listen, I mean, when they're cognitive basically unloading their cognitive overload on AoE2, they go over and they play Pong, and that's fine. But we want to live in the new generation. We want the future, okay? And the future is AoE4 up. Maybe when we're all, decrepit and got our carpal tunnel syndrome, then AoE5 will hit. But until then, this is
we'll just plug our brains straight to the computer and just play that way. It's gonna be great. Who needs APM when you just think it?
You got BPM.
It's gonna be Gen 7. It's gonna be Gen 7 RTS games. It's gonna be just plug your brain straight in. I'm sure Elon Musk will do something about it.
My BPM will be horrible.
Ours will be. We're like,
it's gonna be. We're clicking. Again? We're gonna be all clicking. There's no hotkeys in the future for us.
What is that?
And by the way, I was alive when flip phones were around. Okay, so
I love having a live chat with this because everyone's just roasting Sir Neville's in the chat as we're like going live with this. I love it.
Like, what do you know about flip phones? My first phone was a Nokia bar phone. Yeah, and I was playing that with AoE 2. I was playing on games. I was playing AoE 2 on that. You probably play AoE 2 on the AoE.
You probably could play AoE 2 on a normal phone nowadays.
That's probably crazy APM on a freaking bar phone playing AoE.
Oh my gosh, and AoE. Okay, Jeremy, that's actually really funny in the comments. AoE 5, you'll play as a Vil in VR. And then Beale.
There is a mod for AoE 2.
That'd be horrible. That'd be terrifying.
You can play AoE 2 as like first person in VR.
That's hilarious.
That'd be terrifying.
Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Getting charged by a knight? No thanks.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
It's like that More Knights commercial I made a couple weeks back where the knight like charges the reporter down. All right, I'll go for my extra sheet real quick. We've done Asclad, we've done Neville's. Now we'll go to me. Then we'll finish Caleb and Beale here. What was my extra sheet again? It was I had it and I literally just blanked out. Oh my gosh. It was. I was going to talk about Desert Raiders is what I was going to talk about because they're a civ that I have been hemming and hawing on a little bit. I think it amazes me that certain like units just kind of get, even amongst certain civs, get kind of overshadowed, and then you just kind of rediscover them, and they're just like really good. I think of like the Grenadiers, like China. Like there's just certain civs or certain units you just don't see a lot of.
Grenadiers, that's for sure.
That's a civ. I don't think I've ever actually seen a Grenadier in a game, like ever. But I was trying out the Desert Raiders. I know, lucky me, right? I was trying out the Desert Raiders though, and it amazes me how like the same civ can play so very differently when you change things up with it. And so my thing is essentially my extra sheet was try out some of the unique units if you haven't, or some of the unique techs. Give your thing like a change and see how it feels. And yeah, Desert Raiders are actually better than I thought they were, and I'm discovering I need to use them more and more, even though my initial opinion was not great.
Oh.
That's just me.
Got hit with an ad.
It's in progress. Yeah. Well, that sucks.
Your wife could ask me what's my new Smurf account. I guess I gotta. I did change it. I updated it.
Santa's with
I updated it.
I did like that one quite a bit. Well, we got 2 minutes of break. I don't know if anyone wants to do their extra sheep in the break and have a little less viewership live, or we can just talk about something else while we wait.
I'll do mine.
Okay, Caleb, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, mine's just not AoE related because I don't have a lot of AoE content to worry about right now. I was too busy hitting platinum on League of Legends. It's don't buy cheap memory in any form for your computer.
Hey,
That's my extra sheep. Because
That's pretty good advice.
Since October, I've been working on trying to get these home videos from my belated grandpa. He did a bunch of recording with an old camcorder, and we got all these old videos, and we're trying to get them to my mom's sisters and stuff. And I took a VHS and recorded them through OBS, and got them all digitized. And then for some reason, I couldn't get them to transfer onto thumbsticks. And my mom bought some thumbsticks for pretty cheap that were like a terabyte, and one of them had a virus on it and gave me some I think data corruption issues. Well, we went down and spent $70 on a 1 terabyte solid state. Works like a dream. So I'm gonna finish them up tonight or maybe tomorrow. 2 months in the making these videos onto stupid external storage for my mom's sisters. But the moral of the story is, if you just buy the good stuff for when it comes to computer memory, you won't have any issues.
That is such good life advice in general. Like, there's certain things. I was thinking about this just today, I think, where there are certain things that are worth the extra money for. Like my grandma always used to say, don't buy a knockoff brand mac and cheese. If you're already that poor, if you're already in that spot, just like buy the real stuff. Or like don't buy crappy toilet paper. Was her other big thing. Like, just buy the nice stuff. Like, there are certain things. It's like, it's not worth. Just do it. It's not worth saving on. Like, it's better just to have like the creature comforts. Like, you'll be happier in the long run. Just buy the nice stuff. Like, there are a couple things that are just spend money. Like,
because ultimately now we're just out the money from these corrupted thumb drives.
Yeah,
and we spent the money anyway. And
like, it's worth spending money.
We couldn't have known really, but like in my heart, I knew.
Yeah. Well, it's like, buy a good pair of. If you're gonna have to wear boots or like shoes for work. Buy like good shoes, or buy a good coat. Like, buy certain things that are just worth buying well. And yeah, memory, computer parts tend to be on that
one
list.
Of those things.
Yeah. It's worth it. It is.
All right, Beale.
If you buy crappy mac and cheese, you need the quality toilet paper. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
The man's not wrong.
All right, Beale. Last but not least.
Yeah, my extra sheep is if you get the opportunity, check out the best of 7 series between Puppy Paw and Vortex from the finals. It went to 7 games, and it was like, in the series itself, like, there's a story across multiple games of just how it all played out, especially when it got to the point around the 5th or 6th game and the guys have been playing for like 4 hours straight, and it's turning into like actual like cognitive fatigue and it's looking like a LEL game. No, one of the most entertaining series in AoE4 I've ever watched. So go check out Odd for that. Yeah.
Great recommendation. That was a good one.
Nice. All right. Well, this has been.
Can I say one thing really quick? Really quick. I'm so sorry. It's so funny to hear us talk about cheap toilet paper, because it's crazy how the world works. Really quick. I'm sorry. Listen, because that ties in directly with my new Smurf. If you guys want to play with me on the ladder ever, the name is Sir Dingleberry Danny. If you want to play with me, that is perfect that you guys brought up toilet paper. That is perfect transition into the Smurf. Your wife was asking.
Put that out for toilet paper. I'll say
yes,
starts the Legends of Loino Legends.
Socerton kill it.
And this
perfect kill it. I'm sorry. You should never put me on a live episode. This
has been The Extra Sheep Goes Live. We are so glad to have you. Beale's got the link right there for that game in the description. We'll make sure we get that in on the description of the video and on Spotify as well. Thank you everyone who's been here live, everyone who's listening post this, everyone who's donated on the Patreon, everyone who's just it's not the series. Beale, dude. All right, we will have a link in. Beale will have to just DM you the link, I guess, but we will have a link in the description of this episode on YouTube and on Spotify. Thanks to everyone. Asklad, Caleb, Calamari, Beale, Sir Nevils. I'm your host, Socerton. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy Hanukkah, happy holidays, happy whatever you celebrate. I hope you have a good time with your family and friends. Make sure to take some time to give your family a hug. Tell them that you love them, appreciate them, enjoy your time this wonderful winter or summer season if you're in Australia. And we will catch you back in the new year. Coming up on 2 years, we're going to come up on a full year of the Extra Sheep here when we hit February. It's coming up. But until then, we will find someone to raid for our in-house people here, and for everyone else, have a good rest of your day.